There. Nope. Just me. End. 2. End. 3. End. 4. Oh.
Nice.
Hello, friends. How are we?
How we doing?
It's good to see everybody.
Very well.
Everybody's feeling good?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
You just spritzing yourself? Good.
Put some screen cleaner on, and I'm ready to roll.
Hello. Top of the morning, evening, afternoon, good evening, and good night to one and all. It is Sunday, November 5th, Cinco de Mayo, 9:02 a.m. I just want to put this out there. I've been seeing a lot of messages. Oh, outside of Society 24, God is real. Prove me wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. This is gonna be a doozy. Matthew's pumped up. So thank you, Alicia. Thank you so much. I want to talk about something real quick before we get into this. Does anybody know what Frestes de Semutos is?
Say that again.
Nope.
Frestes de Semutos.
Good
No.
job.
Is that a smoothie?
Strawberries from Fresh?
Frestes de Smoothies.
Fresh
Fresh
smoothies.
smoothies.
The
Got it.
freshest
Yes.
smoothies.
No, listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth, okay?
Okay.
We'll try this one more time. Fresques de Smoothies. Jenna killed me right there. Hold on. Thank you, Jenna. Frese de Smoothies.
Fresh de smoothies. I
Eat
don't know.
smoothies?
Yeah.
Berry smoothies. Yes.
You're
These
probably
are the
wondering
special
where I'm
smoothies.
getting this from, right?
Yeah.
It's a holiday. Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
Nope.
Okay. The celebration of the dead or something?
Oh, Day of the Dead.
In
Yeah.
what language?
I have no idea. I'm just
I only know it as the Day of the Dead, or like in Spanish is the what is it? De la de Muertes or something like
Oh, that's what I was trying to say. I guess I fucked it up.
Okay, that makes more sense now.
I just fucked it up. Does say it again?
I'm pretty sure it's like something like De la de Muertes or something like that.
Okay, so I said Fresca de Samutes. I mean, it's close enough.
Yeah. You can
Dia
get
de
it
los
right.
Muertos. Yeah. Dia de los Muertos. I was like, where is he going with this?
So what is that? What is? Does anybody know what it is? The Day of the Dead?
Yeah.
You
One day.
celebrate the people
You
that
actually
have passed
celebrate
away.
the dead.
And this is what belief? What religion? What system?
Ooh.
Isn't it like similar to All Saints Day or something to that extent?
Yeah, but then there's parts where they actually dig up the dead, right? And take
Yeah.
pictures with it.
Oh, dress him up.
supposedly.
Dress him up, take him into the
Dress
house,
them up.
celebrate
Yeah,
him
I've
in the
seen this
entire
before.
day like a birthday.
Yeah, it's a little weird. You don't think
It's
that
morbid?
someone's a little stiff at the party?
Oh.
Party
Why are you
pooper.
so uptight?
Put a stick in the mud.
He probably has stitches up his ass. That's probably it.
Yeah, I've said it's Ecuador or something, right? Where they take them out of
Yeah.
their graves, and it's somewhere in South America. I don't think it's Mexico. But it's like, so it's a celebration that we don't celebrate. Then
Right. Well,
we as
All
Americans,
Saints Day.
have to say,
No, not that
Yeah.
way.
I so okay, so it's the day that we celebrate the dead. I just want to make sure I
It's like-
understand that.
Yeah, it's a day of
Remember.
remembering the dead. Yeah, you remember
So
the
we
dead.
bring
You
them,
speak-
we excavate them out of their grave, and we hang out with them again.
And
Yeah.
it's only some
We
some
post
parts
them.
of it.
Okay. Okay. So it's not a day of acceptance then.
Well, more of
I
a
don't
day
think
of
so.
remembrance.
Okay, but
Right.
it's not a day of acceptance, right? Because if you accepted it, you wouldn't go dig them up to hang out with them.
Sure.
Well,
It's not
I don't know.
as big
I don't
of
know.
an inconvenience. It's not like you have to buy extra food and drinks.
Okay, but you have to go the extra mile in digging up the casket,
That's-
taking
yeah,
them out of it,
that's-
cleaning off all the bugs, and then bringing them to a party like Weekend at Bernie's.
Yes, except their skin is not still there.
What happens after 100 years? Like, what's the threshold to where we say, look, we can't bring him up anymore?
I
He's
don't-
missing
I don't
fingers
believe-
now.
I don't believe they keep doing it.
Oh, so
only-
They only
That's what I'm asking. So it's a one-shot deal. It's just a bang, bang, bring him up 1 year later. That's it. It's a wrap. It's good to see you again. Clearly, you're a little uptight.
Yeah, that's the way.
You look like some rigor mortgage set in, so we're just going to leave you in there this next year.
You really
Well,
should
I don't-
drink more.
I don't think it's not a situation where you dig up your great grandfather, right? I think it's like somebody that was like, for instance, let's say for argument's sakes, for me it would be my father. I'm not going to undig or dig up my great grandfather because I only met him 3 times, so I don't have that much of a special, place in my heart for him. You understand what I'm saying?
Do you go do it, or is there a service that you could rent out a bobcat or a backhoe and do it?
I think that people do it themselves. Families themselves, I think.
So you got a bunch of Mexicans going out there with a shovel looking like they're about to make a garden to go rip somebody up to hang out with them for the day. No offense, that sounds pretty fucking lonely. If that's the best people you could come up with for a party is a bunch of dead people, I don't want to be friends with you. Your house is going to smell like formaldehyde and old dead people, old wood, and there's going to be bugs on them, right? We know that.
Oh yeah. Oh
100. I don't give a
Maggots.
shit how sealed you think that casket is. They're coming out with god. You're coming out with maggots or some shit in your eyeball sockets.
I'm more interested in the fact that they probably get a little bit tipsy before they start out digging. There's got to be mistakes. You actually have my
No.
grandfather. We need to switch.
I think that's how the tradition started. They were all just hanging out. They got drunk, and they're like, "Oh, we're missing our homie. Let's go get him, and he can hang out with us." So that way, we're all a crew again, and we're all
Yeah,
hanging
this-
out, and
this-
everybody's having fun.
But you're saying it
This
only
does-
happens one time.
Well,
Is anybody
I'm not
sure
sure,
about
but-
this on this panel? Or we just
No,
guessing?
that's why I said I'm not sure, but I think it's not. They don't keep doing it year after year. It's only one time or a number of years, I think, because they had to keep. Otherwise,
So
they
why
had to
not? Okay,
bury,
I got the first subject then. Here comes the first subject. Why can we not, as people, stuff other people and keep them in our house?
I thought about that. That would be kind of
No.
cool, though.
Why can't you?
Here,
Why?
according to government, it's a biohazard. That's why it's
biohazard.
labeled as a biohazard,
Okay.
and you can't.
I'm sorry. What
So
did you
why
say?
can you have a dog
There's a
stuff?
what in a can? What did you say?
You
Mike?
cannot. The rules and regulations in Belgium, at least, are it's a biohazard, so you cannot have body parts or deceased people or whatever. You can't even have a real skeleton. You're not allowed to have a real skeleton. Only replicas.
So there was a thing in America where someone wanted to do this, and it was in their last will and testament, and they went back and forth with court, and they eventually got it approved.
Oh,
So
Really?
my argument is,
Huh.
if I was to have, just spitballing here, they remove all the entrails, okay, like they do with an animal, and you want to put them on a chair in the corner of your house like ornamental furniture.
Why not? I don't see the issue. Why not?
I don't see why you can't. What? Who's
Yeah.
opposed with that? Like, who doesn't like that idea? If you want to take a human being, I don't know what do they stuff animals with? Does anybody know?
Isn't it like cotton or something?
Cotton?
It's cotton, so they're soft, they're plush.
Oh, that's
Totally.
nowadays they use a plastic mold, put it in, put the skin over it, and it's done.
Oh, so they don't just like take it out of the casket and just fill it up with cotton and just give it to you like a
Stuff it.
stuffed
No,
animal.
No.
I don't know about you. I feel like the cat would be more lovable, or the dog, if it was like an actual stuffed animal.
With a
Wait a
squeaky
minute, is that
toilet.
where the fucking word comes from? Shut up. Did they originally take a baby koala bear? I think I'm onto something. Did they take original koala bear, said that thing is adorable, it is dead. Let's fill it with some cotton and sell it to a kid.
Stuff it.
Now you have a stuffed animal.
You know what?
Stuff
Yes,
it.
that makes sense. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, that makes total sense.
I love it. So what do we think? Can we stuff human
More
beings?
stuffed animals.
What'd you say? Now you want more? Well, you're gonna have 3 cats soon. So you just
Yes.
once they die, Jorn, I know Sniffles is probably against it. Once they die, you take them. Do you guys have taxidermy in Belgium?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
we do.
So you can stuff an animal, but you can't stuff a human.
Yep.
That sounds racist.
Well, you can stuff a human, but you just can't have it in the house.
So can you put it outside?
Put it in the backyard.
Bro?
You can't own it.
At your front door.
But
Can you put it on a
I will.
crucifix like Jesus?
Nah.
Oh, jeez.
Why
that
not?
was a bit much.
Why was that too much? That's a legitimate question.
Why would you put it on a crucifix?
Why not?
You can't have one, so you can't put one on a crucifix
Wait,
either.
you can't have what? A crucifix or a person that's stuffed?
A person that's stuffed,
Person.
not a You can have a
House,
crucifix.
But if you put it on your lawn,
We're trying to skate around the law here. If you can have
oh yeah.
a stuffed, I think the issue is if it's my last will. We talked about this with cannibalism. If it's my last will to stuff me, let's just say you want me though. Let's not say that I'm automatically going to be put in my own house. But let's just say you say, you know what? I do want Jay stuff. You don't think it'd be weird walking in 20 years later? You got to dust them. You know what I mean? Like they're collecting dust on their head. That's fucking weird, man. Like that's
Just
'Cause
use the
we-
wet
we
wipe.
Jay-
Every
Jay,
time you
what-
come into the room.
because we don't get dusty.
What position do you want to put?
Shower.
What position do you want it to be put in? Like
The position I'm always in with my legs out. Just sitting in
Oh.
that. I'm going to be pain in the ass to move because I'm going to be like leg heavy.
Yeah, but you're not going to be They're not going to keep moving you though. You're just going to sit there. That's it.
Yeah, how do you get a new chair? Like, how do you move this? Okay, legitimate question. When they stuff an animal, do they keep all the bones in it?
No, they have a chicken
don't
wireframe or something inside. So they can
Really?
move it around.
So
Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
really
just the
the
skin.
animal then.
It's just the skin.
It's just the outside of the animal.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
stupid. That's not that. No.
So that means that you could be skinny. They can make you look skinnier if you wanted to.
Fuck you, man.
You're like, hey, cut off.
Fuck you. Keep it up. There's a mute
not saying
button
you.
for you. I've
I'm not
accepted
saying
my
you.
shit.
I'm
Have
saying
you?
in general.
But
That's why I
Unless
grow
you
a
get
beard. So I
mummified,
hide
because
it.
the Egyptians they did. They kept. They just removed the brain and the
That's what I'm saying.
innards. Egyptians and then mummified the rest. The meat and everything is mummified, like beef jerky.
Do you think it tastes good? Like if you ate an old mummy?
Salty and old. I don't know.
Salt. They use a lot of herbs and shit, right? Like spices, saffron, and cinnamon.
And no salt.
I would
Mountains
try
of
it.
salt.
I mean, they did. If you look up mummies, they would stuff them with like onions and shit, and peppers and saffron and all different
So like a
paprika.
calzone.
Yeah, it's like a 2,000-year-old stromboli. There's meat in there. Oh God, I'm gonna gag. I don't. Oh God. Oh Jesus Christ.
See, but
Hey,
the
1,000-year
stuffing
egg
thing,
or
I'm not opposed
mummy.
to it, but wouldn't you want to be something useful that people could use? So, I don't know, a lamp fixture, mailbox. You could turn yourself into a mailbox that people put letters in your mouth and pull the post out.
Some
of
people
your
don't have
ass.
big enough mouths.
Stuff
though.
like that.
Like packages and
Yeah, that's
stuff.
true.
Well, I guess you do it when your hands are out like this. But last thing you want though is, see, I don't know if you guys have this over in Europe, but in America we got the, I don't remember what they're called, mailbox slammers. So we used to do this when we went to high school. You'd go around with somebody with a truck or a car. You take a bat, and you bang the mailbox. That's the last thing you want to do is come outside and see your new loved one decapitated because someone went a little crazy with a bat. And the head is somewhere in your lawn. Now you got to glue it back together.
It's
You
a
said
great Halloween
sitting in a
decoration
chair,
now.
but you could essentially be the chair, right? They just have to put a frame in it. You go sit like this, and people can sit on your lap. That's useful.
Does he have a hard on so they could get fucked too while they're at it?
What the fuck?
Whoa. That
What-
went
what-
from
what-
0 to
You said my
100.
crucifix was too far?
Well, if you're a
let's-
chair
let's
now,
wait.
you might as well have a
Wait,
hard on.
why did your wife all of a sudden? And then the question is, if you get remarried, does your wife remove you from the house? What does she do with your old body? Stuff it in the
That's a good question.
closet?
She could
Oh,
throw
shit.
it off. I
Have
mean,
to
What
do
if
that.
you stuffed you? This is so not even the topic I wanted to cover. What if you stuffed a human and you made all their ligaments like the action G.I. Joes? So you could do whatever you want.
Ooh,
so you compose them?
acting job. Well, you mean like Biden?
I
Actually.
have some poses.
No.
I have some
Like
poses.
more like you could see the springs in each knuckle, so you can make them do whatever you want to do. You remember the toys we had as kids where you could stretch out Mr. Fantastic
With the
his arm would stand
articulation.
that way? I'm saying like you could do that with people.
I like it.
Now with 100 different articulations.
Get your stuffed loved one here. All right, let's talk about a god. Did you change your mind at all, Matthew? Did you look at anything differently?
Nope.
Nothing. You still feel the same way.
Yeah.
Spade.
That's the way I.
Go ahead. That's the way. Go ahead.
That's the way I look at it.
Mm.
From my point of view, it's possible.
So you're not saying it's real or it's fake. You're just saying it's a possibility.
No, mind you, it's from my belief system and my point of view. Might not be real for you, might not be real or the same for anybody else. If you're a devout Catholic, you're probably gonna be one way or the other.
Mm.
Or if you, depending on what you believe, that the higher power is. So
So you're not saying
me,
that he
it-
doesn't exist, and you're not saying that he does exist, right?
Yep.
You're
Or
in the
believing
air.
both at the same time.
So, but you're in the air.
How do you believe with both at the same time?
No, I believe there's some higher power. Yeah.
What about you,
Oh, I
John?
changed it again.
What's yours? What's your stance on this?
My stance on this is I used to be 100% in the other corner. I have doubts now.
So you're also like Matthew. You're not saying that there is or there is not. You're in the air.
Well, the only proof we have is that science has been more wrong than right.
Aha. See, the science talk maybe made you double think it a couple times the other day. Good. So again, you're not saying there is or there is not. You're saying that there is a possibility.
For me personally, I have no proof that he doesn't.
So why do you pray for people to get better? If you have no proof
'Cause-
that something is not there, for instance, if I know that there's not a car in my driveway, I'm not going to say, I hope I could drive down to Publix and back and maybe pick up some food. I know that there's not a car there, so why would I hope for something that I know is not real? So if the argument is that you're not sure if it's real or not, are you just hoping there has to be more leaning one way than the other? Because why would you pray for people?
From my point of view, it can't hurt to ask, and if it does help, it helps the other person out.
So there is a belief then. It's not a matter that there's not then, because okay, but you still have faith that it may help people.
Yes.
So there is a belief.
There's a little flame starting.
And Matthew, what about you? What do you pray for people? I know Spade believes in God. So
if people are in need for their health is bad or something bad is happening.
What do you pray
I-
to? Do you say high power? Do you give it a name, or is it just hey, someone up there or someone over there? What do you? How do you?
yeah, it's not. It's
Well, like,
not
what do
really
you just
named.
say? Hey, I pray for this person. Like, you're not talking to anybody specifically. You're just there could be a
Please help this
dripper on your
person.
mod, and you talk to
Yeah.
that, and that's
No,
adequate.
What's up, G?
please help this person or
That's it. There's no
Yeah.
addressing of any name.
Well, do you need
Not
to give it a
really.
name? Does it need a name? You could just say a higher power.
Yeah, I mean,
and
yeah,
that's it.
yes, it needs a name because if there's 50 people in front of you, and you don't give anybody a name, and you're just like, hey, go get me a lemonade, you're gonna have 50 people go get you a lemonade. So
Or
yes,
no.
Right. But you're assuming
So you
that,
could say-
that the higher power is more than one. There's only one, right?
like
Yeah,
I just go
why even bother-
if I went like the powers that be.
The
Pretty
power
good.
that be, yeah.
Please
The higher,
help
the
this
higher.
person or whatever.
it's so you believe that everybody's fate is destined.
Partly, yeah.
It's either you do or you don't.
Here we go.
No, yeah. Here we go. It's either you do or you don't. If it's partly, then the answer is yes.
Yeah, if you look at it like that, yeah, okay.
Okay, so everybody's
think
faith or fate,
Yeah.
fate, if you will, not faith, is destined to be. So when you
I
say
think you have
powers
to-
that be, what if those powers are you?
Well, that's not believing in something higher than yourself, then.
Says who? You?
Unless I'm a higher power,
How do you
Okay.
know you're not?
like you.
How do you
I
know
don't
you're
know.
not? How do you know you're not God?
Oh, that's
Well, I tried to
that's
I
easy.
tried to pray for some people and it didn't work. So I would imagine if I were God and I would go, please let Jay win the lottery, you'd win the lottery. Otherwise, I would be a shady
well-
God.
Well, remember, God only works on his time. What if all the decisions that you pray for and you ask for are all in your hands?
Yeah, it's a manifestation of what you want to happen.
Would you want that power?
Yes. That's not even a
Really?
question from absolutely.
no, it's dangerous to give me that power.
No, give me that power. I'll make things happen.
Yeah, I'm not saying I would be lazy.
Okay, but I just want to go
just
back on
don't
this.
think
So,
it's
Jordan,
the
what
change everyone
do
wants.
we got to do, Jordan, to get you to play for Team A instead of Team Middle? Because right now you're the transgender that just doesn't fit in. So what do we got to get you on?
I would
side of the
consider
team?
myself more like bisexual than transgender. At this point, I can't
Because
make
you,
it.
you still know what you are. You just don't know the route to get there. Got it. Okay. All right. That's fine. That's fine. You'll take penis or pussy, but either way, sex is sex. All right. I can dig it. But if before you had little faith, Jorn, but now you have some faith, what caused that to change? You didn't lose anything.
No, I gained doubts. I had no doubt, and now I have doubt.
No.
Had no doubt about.
So you didn't
Oh, I would
believe.
say
Open
the
and shut.
opposite. I would say before you had doubts. Okay,
No,
okay, I see the
no,
way you're
no, no.
saying it. You're saying
Before,
before you
yeah.
had no doubts, God did not exist. Now you have doubts that
Exactly.
God does exist. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have said that other way, but that works too. That's all right. It just sounds weird. But what
Yeah,
gave you
negative
doubts?
answers.
But what gave you doubts?
more like the hope that this isn't it. Because if this is it, this is very depressing.
So that's on you then.
Who gave
right?
you-
It's not a catalyst brought on by somebody else or a protagonist. That's on you. You came up with that. Nobody else did.
No, that was
Like, nothing
more the
happened in your
conversations
life.
We always have.
Well,
No,
but what I'm
no,
saying is
that's
nothing
true.
happened in your life that made you start to think otherwise. Just listening to something or talking to
Conversations.
somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, so you came up with it then. You did. It's your own
Not
mind.
really.
Okay, but I'm not understanding.
There is the multiple conversations that made me look at certain things a different way.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say it was internal; it was more external. And then I tried to come up with explanations, and certain things I had no explanation for. Science didn't have an explanation for, so I started doubting the 100% there is no God thing.
Can you give us an example?
Well, the best one and the most apparent one is how I met my wife.
Okay.
More simple.
That
more
was
simple
a series of events that
Yep, there you go.
ultimately led to that. And I couldn't really
Coincidence.
the best. Oh, yes.
Right. That's the
Yes.
word you're looking for. Is there's no such thing as coincidence. That's what made me believe that there is something greater than what there is. It's impossible. I don't care what law, what physics, what math you do. It is impossible to have back to back to back to back coincidences. Anybody seen the movie Downsizing? Downsizing. Matt Damon. Okay.
That's the one where he's like a little person, right?
Yep. Great movie, by the way. But
Yeah.
he, at the end of it, he has this revelation about God. I'm going to ruin the movie for everybody, but we're going to stay on topic here. He has this revelation about God that there's no way you're going to tell me that I met you, his girlfriend with no leg, that you brought me here to Norway, that I found these people. It's impossible to have back to back to back to back coincidences that make you make a life decision. The odds are remarkable. You have better chances of winning the lottery. For
Twice.
everything to work out to make you happy in the end? How many people could wake up and say that they're 100% happy with the way that their life is? I don't want to change anything. Nobody. And if you say yes to that, you're full of it. There ain't no way that you wake up and you're ready to die right now because you're happy with everything. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
There's always something else you want to attain or do, or
Yeah, but especially in downsizing, because you mentioned it, for those coincidences or fate to happen, you have to keep moving.
Yeah.
If you just park yourself, if you don't make any decisions, bad or good or whatever, and you stay put, it wouldn't change anything. You would just
Right, nothing would happen.
in the
You would
Yeah.
just you just exist.
barely.
You're just here for not even for the ride. You're just here.
Like a stuffed animal.
Or like a
Unless
stuffed human.
unless that's what you're supposed to do.
If that's your fate, that's horrible.
Nah, there's no way.
Slippery slope.
You have to believe. I don't care whether you believe in God. I do care, but let's just say I don't give a shit what you believe in. There's no one that's going to tell me that one, you wake up happy every day, that everything is the way that it is. Fine. Let's just say the answer is yes to that. So then the question remains, would you change anything? Let's just say you are happy. What would you change right now? Nothing. I'm happy. That's not what I'm asking you. What could you do to be more happy? There's always something, bro. There's always. And I think that's
No matter
why we're here is I do think that there is a reason why everybody's here. Literally, every single person, there's a reason. Whatever that reason is, I think once you do that, or once it comes to fruition in your mind, that's your last day of being here.
I never thought of it that way.
Looking for an
Makes
answer
sense.
to a question, and that once you find that answer or figure it out or do an action, let's just say you're here to preach to people and you reach a certain person, that's it. Your goal is done.
So,
You have no more use.
Yeah,
of it.
you're,
I have a weird question about that. So that means that as a species, since we're getting older and older, we are truly lost because we take longer and longer to find out what our true meaning is.
You base
No,
that
not
off
necessarily.
of mere numbers of population decrease.
No, age.
Right.
I
And you're
base it on
basing
age
that
we're
off
getting.
of population decrease. You don't know the 20-year-olds that die of cancer. You don't know the 10-year-olds that die of cancer. You don't know, and I'm just using cancer as a reference. You're only looking at just the old people that are just living longer. Maybe those people are lost. Maybe the people that come here, their purpose is to make other people realize what love is. And you losing that you're just a tool. You're not. Essentially, we're all tools. Yeah. And we're all doing something to make a difference in somebody's life, whether that's your significant other, whether that's your child, or it could be yourself. The question could
Random
be
guy on the
about the
street.
homeless people that just do drugs and sit on the street for 50 years. I don't have an answer to that question because I'm not trying to be hurtful. I cannot see your greater purpose.
Actually, there is a greater purpose because those people were put there so that way somebody else who's walking down the street sees them and says, "Ooh, I don't want to be
True.
that way."
Yes. You could look at it that way. That's a tool that's placed there as a weapon, if you will, to
Do you
make
really
you.
need thousands of them?
Would it make?
But
more,
there's how
if
many
they-
people-
if there were less, would people pay more attention to them? The fact that there's
Right.
more
That's
makes
also true.
people
Yeah.
okay. Wow, we got streets now,
Well-
towns.
What? Look at the number of people we have in this world, right? 8 million people. How many of those are actually homeless?
8
So do the
billion.
math.
8 billion people.
Right, sorry, 8 billion. 8 billion people in this world. How many people are homeless? 1 million people? I don't think so. Can it be that high?
I want
I
you to
don't think
take
it's
that.
one-
Hold on now. I don't know if that's even fair because if you take that number, 2/3 of that number is divided into 2 countries. Almost
Okay.
half. I'm not sorry, 2/3. I was gonna say 1/3, but almost half. You got 2 billion in China and you got 2 billion in India. Okay, that's half the world is in 2 countries. Is India a continent? I know Asia's China. Asia's India. So you got 4 billion people just in 2 countries alone. So I don't know if we could take that. I think you have to take the percentage of the population and then use it from there. But
Right.
I honestly, even the people in prison, they all have a reason.
I would argue that you cannot know what your true purpose is. You'll never
Right.
know.
I feel like if we did know it, we would do everything in our power not to do that. Because the last thing you want to do is not be here anymore.
Yeah, especially if it's your
Probably
last
better
day.
that you don't know what it is. It's probably better that you don't know the date you're going to die.
So that just means that you're just waiting for you to get into that enlightenment, to get to that enlightenment. And once you get to that enlightenment, you're
That's
done.
it. It's a wrap, bro. It's a wrap.
So the Buddhists are kind of right because that's what they do. That's what the Buddhists do, right? They always say that they're waiting to get into that enlightenment.
I don't want to get into religion. I don't, because I'm going to dig into Buddhism and Catholicism. I'm trying to just get into the belief of God. I'm trying not to get into something organized, because then you could go monks. So I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if that's the answer per se. We're just looking at the realization. See, but then that goes into Matthew's argument that there's something of greater power. And if you look at Buddhist, this is why I don't want to get into it, because it's not that. There is no greater power per se. It's like Scientology. Yeah, we're not going to get into religion because there's a lot of flaws in all of them. I'm just talking about the belief of something that is
Of a higher being than you.
right.
Yeah.
Problem
One
with
is
religion
man-made,
is
the
it's
other
made
one
by
is-
people.
Yeah, you saw the video, Matthew. That should have been a wake-up call for you.
It's almost going to be flawed.
Well, so are we as humans.
Yeah, that's why it's going to be flawed as well.
I have a question. If we're flawed, right, and God made us in His image, then that means that he's flawed also.
No, not necessarily.
Why?
When you're born, are you flawed? When you're put into this world, are you flawed?
I guess not. You're innocent, right?
You're innocent.
You didn't do anything
And we
wrong.
all know it's
And-
child is innocent. Child is growing, it's learning. Unless, of course, you have some type of debilitation. Autistic, cerebral palsy, cancer, heart on the outside of the body. But maybe that being there is for a greater reason for you to appreciate life more. Is it sad? Sure. Is it sad I lost my daughter? Sure. Is there a greater reason? Yep. I'm speaking from experience. Maybe those are, I hate to use it, a tool or a weapon to make you realize it's not about that. It's a distraction.
Learning tool.
A wake-up call?
Then how do you know what the right answer is, right? It's what you make of it. Like Jorn with his belief. It's what you
And that's the illusion of being free, right? Of making your own decision.
and that's what makes us flawed though, is that free will. The same thing that God gave us is the same thing that makes us is our own demise. What we decide to do. That's why
But
I
then
don't
you
feel
get
that it's
into
up to another man to decide another man's fate.
But then you get into the argument: did he put that flaw in us intentionally because
It's
he
not a
gave the
flaw.
free will? So
I don't think it's a flaw. I think it's by design.
Yeah, that's the ultimate test.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I don't think it's a flaw. You made it a flaw. It's-
I never saw it that
as
way.
Spade said, we're all. Your premise was that we're flawed, right? So God is flawed. Okay, but
Right.
if He made us perfect, we would be all.
We would all love
A bunch of goodies.
Yep.
And they would only do good.
Yep.
What's the test? What's the meaning of this
Yep.
existence?
That's
to
it.
begin with?
Everybody's great. They're all coming back with me. Why did I even make them for? I mean,
Oh,
think
we're
about
all
you.
so
If you
happy.
if you knew that you could build a perfect computer every time, this is a terrible example, or a perfect car every time, you'd be like, okay, I need something more challenging. Like this sucks. This great. I'm
Well,
great
that's
at
where you
this.
innovate, right? That's where you innovate,
Right,
though.
and
That's
that's
where
what
you.
God did. God gave you the ultimate innovation. Here's a mind. You do with what you want with it. If you don't love me, then fine. I gave you that choice.
So
the
he, in
argument is-
essence,
Go ahead.
so what you're saying is, in essence, he created us. He created us to be our own God, in the sense where we come up with the ideas, we do them, and we try to perfect everything in order to progress in life.
Sure. You have that power. You have that power to affect other people, don't you?
yeah,
Somebody that's homeless on the street, you have that power to help that person. Whether or not you choose to use that, that's on you. But you have that power to do it. The only difference between you and God is God created you. You created problems.
What? Well, not necessarily you created problems. It's the people prior to you or next to you that created problems. You didn't wake up today and say, "Hey, I'm going to go start a war down the block." You understand what I'm saying?
There's people that do that, though.
Right, there are, but in your particular case, I wasn't put here to do things like that. I didn't make these issues. I'm just living in a world that these issues are in, and maybe I can do something in order to repair them, fix them, get rid of them.
and if it's internal, you should help yourself. Should you even help that bum on the street?
Well, why would you not? Think of it that way.
Yeah, but then you'd interfere for him to be internally helping himself.
Not necessarily, because people need that extra oomph to do something. You can't. Not most people don't wake up one day and say, "Hey, I'm a drug addict. I'm going to quit." Something happened in their life that said, "Hey, I should quit." Whether it's they upset their parents, their family members, their loved ones, whatever,
But it's
or
still,
they had a
it's
near-death
still,
experience.
it's still the person inside that decides to keep off the dope or get back onto it. You decide to be clean
Twice.
day after day after day after day.
But maybe
Right, but
maybe we're all supposed to be narcissistic because
What?
we don't
Yeah.
have. Hold on, hear me out. If you're not narcissistic and you let everything else affect you and make you sad, what's the goal? What do you
Right.
learn from that?
you don't.
And you have no control of that anyway. So let's just say you have the loved ones, everybody in your family you love, they all die in a horrific plane crash or a car accident. That is out of your hands. You can't let that affect you. What is the goal of it affecting you? To join them? To go be with them? But then you learn nothing.
To care less to begin with. That's a terrible lesson.
Well, the narcissism
Not
is
care less, just take more heed to it. And I hate to bring this up, but my daughter, at one point it upsetted me greatly. Don't get me wrong, there are times that upset me, and but I get to the point where there's nothing that I could have done to stop that. There's nothing that I could do that will make that better. That problem is there, and I have to believe in God that I will see her again. And if not, then that is the way that it is. And once you can accept that and not be in denial with it, I think that's the answer. But clearly
That's only
it's not,
part.
because I'm still here.
That's only part, right? So you've accepted that you have no part or that you couldn't have done anything else to prevent it.
Yeah, that's not removal of guilt, because I still feel that I'm partially responsible, right? I'm a father, so I am responsible, whether or not you want to disagree with that. There is a responsibility that goes with that. At the same time, it's out of my control what you do with your life.
Mhm.
Any parent, once your kid turns 18, shit, you don't have to wait till they're 18. Once that kid wants to do with their own life, I don't care how much of
You're going to do it.
on that person. They're going to go do what they want to do. Same thing.
Right,
with
because
kids
that's
on
their
board.
purpose. Right, because that's the purpose. And their
That's
purpose
it.
is to do their own thing. So no matter what you say or what you do, they're still going to do what it is that they were designed to do. Look, you could sit there and say that the reason of your daughter's passing is to make you, Jay, a stronger individual for future things. You could say that. You could say that was one of God's plans for you for you to understand what a loss is and to build something better and become something, your best self, right? You could say that could be a reason that you were put here for, to create a better self, of a better version of yourself.
So
Because
narcissistic.
that's it.
So narcissistic.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. It's possible, yes. There's nothing wrong with that.
What if everything in your life that happens around you causes you to believe more in yourself than anybody else? Is that a negative thing?
No, it's not a negative thing, at least in
I
my
know it's
opinion,
not
because
pride, because I have no control of that.
right, and because of that, you're able to do what it is that you want to do to excel yourself. You need to be
Well,
somewhat narcissistic in order to get ahead in life. If you're not, like you said before, everyone's going to be just whatever. Doesn't
it's
matter.
not a negative thing, just as long if it doesn't hurt other people. If it starts hurting other people, then it's a negative thing. Otherwise, no.
Yeah.
Well, of course it would hurt other people that would be close to her, that they would be like, wow, you just wrote her off like that. No, I didn't write her off. She wrote herself off. That's reality. That's reality.
Yeah.
As cold as that sounds, that's facts. So,
But no one could say that you wrote her off, because you're always talking
of
about
course you
her.
could. I mean, I could even say
have
that
a big
looking
ass-
at myself. I could even see, that's the difference between me and most people, is I could see the flaws or the holes in my argument. I could say that about me, that I wrote her off. Fine. Yeah, I wrote her off to God. Yes. That's the answer. Now that we got that out of the air, now what?
Mm.
What's your argument there? It's like when someone is black and they make a racist joke. It's okay because I'm black. What's the argument? You got nothing.
Right.
Nope.
Yeah, the argument. Okay, great. Yes, I did to God. That's my belief. It's hard for me not to. They always say that believing in God is more difficult than not believing because you don't actually ever see it. You could see it in actions of people's. You could see it. I just look at that. This is the best way I can explain God. Is God is good. It is quite literally that simple. Anything good that happens is God. Anything bad that happens is not God. It's quite literally that easy.
So, but the bad part, what is it then?
The
Just
devil.
human nature or the devil?
Devil. It's the devil.
So then nobody that does any something bad can be held accountable for it because it's the
No,
devil
you're
that
held
did it.
accountable. You're just weak.
You chose to do that, Matthew. That's what it is. You chose it.
I
Nobody
put those
forced you to.
temptations in front of you, and free will.
You took them.
You make
Yeah,
that decision. Wow. Well, it looks like the devil won, and I mean, ultimately God won because he created the things for the devil to play with. But yeah, that's on you. This is you as an individual. You make that choice.
He also did create the
Someone's
devil.
got to have some kind of argument. Come on, negative Nancy's from Belgium.
Then you could
The
argue
only
that
thing I see is if the fate thing.
Fate or faith?
Because if fate, like it's all predetermined. If every choice is already written, then your free will is null.
No. Okay. All right. I see your argument.
that's where mine comes in. Because I think you have certain fixed points that you have to achieve
You're
during your
alive
life.
and then you die. That's the
And
fixed point.
the in between is free will. But you're always gonna sort of end up in that situation. What you do each morning, if you wake up 5 minutes late or 5 minutes early, if
I
it's not
think the
that
fate-
particular day,
Okay, I get what you're saying. I think the fate is more so what you're here to do. And then once you do that, you are done. Now, the
Yeah, but then-
decisions that lead you up to that will have to do with the devil and will have to do with God. As long as you get to that end point. And I feel like some people have an expiry date. Like I gave you 108 years to figure this shit out. Look, it didn't work out, man. You just dumb as a sack of potatoes. So I'm gonna take you off now because I gave you way too much time to figure this shit out.
You're still on lesson 1. Jesus Christ.
I don't know how you didn't figure anything out in 100 years. I gave you all the clues. Maybe I get the argument with the fate, but look at it. It's a great point, and I don't have an argument. But the only thing I could say is that things are going to happen for you to continually choose the right path. How easy it is or how hard it is
It's up to
destined
you.
by fate. No, it's destined by fate.
Oh,
But
best.
you have to make that decision to go down which path, the hard or the easy one.
But do you then have multiple fate? Because everything is a choice.
Everything
right?
that
So
you
could
do
use
is a fate. Whether or not,
yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's just the end
No.
goal. I think it's the end
Oh,
goal.
okay, because every choice is a good and a bad one. You have a
Sure.
good and a bad option. So eventually, if you make, I'm looking at this as a game, like an RPG. So you pick 15 bad choices, then your fate is ultimately now you're an evil.
I don't think
bad
it
person.
changes. I don't think your fate changes. I think once you're born, you have a fate to do something. You
It's how
understand?
you
So if
get
you-
there.
I don't. Yeah, it's how you get there. It's the road you path. It's the road you travel to get to that end goal.
so if you had to choose between connect the dots with a fixed beginning and a fixed ending, connect the dots, or the dots being able to take multiple paths, connecting the dots, but still
Right.
arriving at
Right.
the same
That's
end
exactly
point.
what it is.
Which one of the two?
Right. So just like you're going to your destination, right? And you put it into your phone, and your phone is telling you you could go this way, it takes 15 minutes. You could go that way, it takes you an hour. But this
But
way is
okay,
economic,
using that analogy, Spade, what do all people pick? The quickest way.
the quickest, right? Yeah.
Regardless of the tolls, unless you broke, you might choose a different path. But other than that, you want the quickest way to get there. People don't
Right.
have patience.
Right.
Oh no, my mindset was eventually if you pick a series of bad choices, there's no way you can go back. At a certain point, you kind of jump
That's
off.
not true.
Yes,
No,
it
you could
is.
go back. You could.
No, you
No, you
can't.
can't.
could-
No, you
If I-
can't go back, but
Okay,
you can
Spade,
change
if I-
it.
if
Yes,
I
you can
pick-
change it.
If I take a car now and I go to an area where there's like a shopping mall, drive in it, hit 25 people, they're all dead. Can I come back from that and be a pastor? That's
No.
an ultimate bad decision. You can't come back from that. How am I traveling back to be?
Well, that's why it's on other people. That's why it's on other people for you to come back from that. That's not on you.
Yeah, but there's no way that I could actually become a good person in the eyes of I don't know who.
You can, because everyone's got that second choice, right? No.
Like
We,
Dahmer.
we've talked about
The
this.
argument could be Dahmer then, Jorn. He did all that bad shit, and you said you think it's an act. Maybe look
Yeah.
past that. Maybe he did wake up. Think about what all prison people find when they have nothing but time on their hand. They all find God. You think it's a way out, or what did you say? What do you
Like-
think Dahmer did it for, Jorn?
For himself.
Notoriety.
For himself?
Yeah.
Why though? What's the goal?
Huh. Easy way out.
Easy way out of what? Forgiveness from the people or for God?
For God.
Well, God knows.
It,
But-
yeah, and I don't think he would.
You
let
can
that
fake
slide.
that as much as you want. God knows.
Well, that's why I believe that's more on religion, like organized religion. Hey, repent at the end, you'll
Sure.
get in.
Sure.
And I don't believe
Right.
God will work that way, and I don't pretend
Why not?
to be speaking for him.
I don't
Because
believe-
it's the
believe it.
ultimate sin. You kill people. It's not
There-
going to be.
there is no- hold
You
on.
believed in me. It's fine.
Stop it. There is no ultimate sin. A sin is a sin. Whether you steal a pack of gum or kill somebody, they're both crimes in the law and in
True.
God's eyes. When
Well,
you
in
start
my
getting
eyes,
into
but
Catholicism,
I'm not
you got venial sins, cardinal sins, immortal sin, like mortal sins. You have. That's why we're not going to get into religion. But whether or not you do this or do that, I think that's the bad that's controlling. Now God says, okay, wow, that was free will. That's messy. Let me see how I could fix this. Okay? Here's the answer. Let me put this in front of him. Let's see what road he travels down now.
I could see the pack of gum being more easily forgivable than the murder, though.
Doesn't. You're mixing up God's law with human law.
Well,
What's
who
wrong is
do you
wrong.
Really know his law because it's all been
Yeah,
handed
nobody
down
knows.
from you. And
Yeah,
so
nobody knows.
So, but then it means if you've ever stolen a pack of gum, you're doomed.
If
So you
you've
could
never
as well
asked
just
for
go around
forgiveness,
killing
yes.
people.
If you've never asked for forgiveness and meant it, yes.
But then if you kill a person, ask for forgiveness and mean it, then it's okay as well.
In God's eyes, yes.
Ooh.
That's the whole thing. Repenting is the end all of be all. You could be the worst person ever, and if you repent and it's believable, then yes,
Or you
Then
could
he
be a
will let
good
you.
human being and do neither of those.
right.
I mean,
That's
that's
the
also
easier
an
path.
option, so you don't have to do it and ask for forgiveness.
But then you would argue, Jay, that's the easier path.
That's the harder path.
No.
It's a lot harder.
Wouldn't it be making multiple bad decisions and maybe?
No, because you're no. You're messing it up. It's one thing if you steal, you're cognitive and you do it, and you know that you're going to ask for forgiveness. God knows that you're not really forgiven because you thought about that before
Right.
you did it, right? It's okay, smart ass. I know, I know what you're doing. So it's like God knows that. What I'm talking about is not being cognitive of doing something. Whatever, you put a pack of gum in your pocket, you go to check out, and you forget. You legitimately forget. What do most people do? Do most people go back in, ring it up, and check out? No. It's no big deal. It's a corporation. Yeah, you just stole. It's that simple. So what do you do with that?
What if you know that the cashier is not charging you enough? You tell them, and they go like, "No, no," and you go out of the store. Have you still stolen?
No, that's not on you. You didn't do the
I've had that
mistake. They
happen.
did.
I mean,
Right, but you didn't make the
this
mistake.
can't
They
be
did.
right. It's this can't be right. It's not right. Oh no, it's right, lady. This it has to be more. No, no, no. Okay, told you twice. I went out of the store.
Get a
Checked
manager.
the bill afterwards, and I was right. They
Then
didn't
go back in.
count everything.
Go back in. First off, I don't know anybody that looks at a receipt and says this isn't right. I don't know anybody. You're expecting them to do the right thing, but if you find out that that's wrong, you go back in and you pay the extra.
If you tell them twice, and they go like, "No," I have to fight with the person behind the register to pay him more. Or
That's a
what I have
bit
to do.
extreme. Have you ever been put in that situation?
Yeah.
I got nothing. I've
I've
never.
and I literally told them twice, this
I got
can't
no
be
answer,
right.
bro.
This can't be right. Yes. And they supposedly checked it. Yeah, sir, it is right. No, this can't be right.
Well, then
And I was like,
that's on them. That's if
That's what I'm saying.
maybe you're wrong. If everybody's saying this is right, maybe you're wrong. That's got to be the case.
Again, you could do what Jay said. Just call the manager and be like, listen, this, and the other, and see if they fix that. And if they say that you're wrong, then I guess you're wrong.
See, but then that also flows into the question. You can do bad things without knowing it, and you can do bad things deliberately. Which one is worse?
Deliberately.
Deliberately.
Yeah, of
No,
course.
it's wrong.
But it's still the same thing. Both outcomes are bad.
Not true.
Yes, it is, because just because you didn't do it deliberately, you still did a bad thing.
But everybody's going to do bad things,
Of course.
regardless whether you want to or not.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but you're not cognitive of doing it. There's a big difference. Even in a court of law, there's a big difference. God knows you're going to make mistakes because of free will. I expect you to correct them because of me.
Yeah, well, the thing was that it's both considered sin, regardless if it was, well, maybe there's a degree because the other one was meditated and the other one wasn't, but
Sure.
it's still at the end of the road.
And which one?
a sin.
And then you could go into manslaughter when something's premeditated. The crime, the penalty is much worse.
Oh,
But in God's eyes, that's not true.
Huh. Okay.
It's not true.
the same thing is true for doing good. It doesn't mean you're gonna receive good back.
Right.
Oh no.
Don't worry about that, Matthew. That's my life.
Yep.
You know, there's this comment that really is. So he writes, who was the first sinner? Most people would say Eve because she ate of the forbidden fruit first, but Eve was deceived. Adam sinned willfully. That makes a lot of. I never saw it from that perspective, because he chose to do that because she told. Well, then again, you could say that she deceived him, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
yeah,
So then he didn't willingly. Yeah, so he didn't
both
willingly.
of them had choices, and they picked wrong.
I mean, if you really want to get into the Bible, the reason why God knew that if you could go real deep here, and I'm not doubting God, but I am doubting the way that that's written. That's why it's called Adam's apple. It was never an apple. I don't know where people got that from. It was a fruit.
Knowledge.
There's no one says apple in the Bible. Okay.
Right.
So
It's
cut
a fruit.
that shit
It's a
out.
fruit.
Should be Adam's fruit, not apple. Anyway, and why does a man only have it? Because that bitch ate the fucking apple first. Women should have Eve's apples, right? Don't just give it to men.
Yeah.
It's selfish. Anyway, so you could get into it and say, if you really want to get technical, we're all related because we all came from two beings.
Yes. Correct. Yeah.
Well, that
I think there's
explains
just
the amount of
flaws in
stupid
the way that
people I
that's written.
encounter. Not many birth defects in general. For the amount of inbreeding, it's kind of impressive.
Yeah, but those were supposed to be genetically perfect people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then
So
how
we're
did,
watering
how did
down.
if God is all knowing, how did he not know that they ate the fruit until, or why, when he saw them naked? Why didn't you know before? I thought you know all.
Why you?
See, that's an argument that can be said against God. If he knows all, how did he not know that they ate the apple? There's only two people here that you have to look at. And you managed to miss that?
Or it was
Or he
always
just let it
the
happen.
fate of humanity to begin with.
But
Right.
did they have free will at that point?
Yeah, because
Are
they
you
chose
sure about
to-
that?
And then
Yeah,
why punish
because
the
otherwise
children?
they wouldn't.
Why punish the offspring
Yeah,
for the
why
sins
did
of the
Cain
parents?
slay Abel? I mean, look, going off of just that, all of us are of murderer because we all came from Cain.
Yes. And liars.
So the kink in the chain is at the very beginning of it. It tells you the rest of that chain is going to be weak as shit.
So our whole point is to repent of the sins that everyone prior to us have done in order to do better.
That's a weight nobody can shoulder.
But
So
you don't have
if
to
you
do
go
the whole
if you
thing.
go off of that premise, everybody's doomed because that's a weight that nobody can shoulder. No way.
But the point is, have you tried? The fact that you're trying is better than not doing, correct?
Now you're saying tried. No, you said something else.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, you're actually trying to fix the wrongs that someone else did, right? But if
Trying
you're a
isn't
person who just doesn't give a shit,
trying
didn't
isn't
try at all.
succeeding. Spade, it isn't succeeding.
Agreed.
So, oh yeah, I tried to swim across the canal, but I didn't succeed.
But did the other person try? No. But at least you tried, correct?
Yeah, the
Trying
other
is not
person's
doing. I
alive.
have to agree with that. Trying is not doing. Trying is trying. You do it or you don't.
Immediately, that part of the rock jumped in the movie.
Yeah.
I'll try my best.
I think something's going to happen in your life, Jordan, where it's going to make you. You're not going to have that light bulb that goes off. That's going to make you believe. I think it's a gradual thing for you.
Oh, I think the exact same thing.
Matthew, on the other hand,
But he's already on the fence, so he also
he's not on the
needs
fence.
same thing.
He's out here with science, and we're not going to get into that shit again. That was a 5-hour stream of science versus God.
But he's open to the possibility of a god. I was more closed off to begin with, so I think he has more chance.
But that's what I tell you guys. You guys just can't shut off, right? You can't hear something and just be like, that's wrong. Just think about it before you just immediately dismiss it. It makes you arrogant, ignorant, not open to change.
Yeah, at least we talked about it for 5
More
hours.
like
So
that than
it's not
Matthew.
shut off.
What did you say, Jordan?
I think I was more like that than Matthew. I still think that to be true. I'm more stubborn than he is.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that. But I'm just saying as people in general. See, I don't know why I always think I'm talking about you. I'm saying people in
Well, that
general.
was the worst one.
I can name 2 other people that are more stubborn than you, but we're not going to get into that because they're not on this panel. But I don't think it's as simple as just dismissing everything. As much as you want to be the right one and just not be open to change, I think we have to embrace transgenders. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. But there's nothing you're going to do to change that. So you have no choice but to accept it. Doesn't mean you have to like it. You just have to accept it.
I agree with that.
You accept something doesn't mean you like it. We accept
That's
our
right.
life. We wake up. And, you don't have a choice, Matthew. It's not a matter of whether it's not going to happen. You don't have a choice. It's happening.
Yeah, but the acceptance, I still don't see why I have to call them they or
No, no, no,
whatever.
no.
And
It's
I
not what
wouldn't.
I'm. Nope, nope. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you have
They're
to
there.
do it.
Yes, they're
Yes,
there.
there's
Okay.
nothing you can do to change that, buddy.
Nope.
Nope. I don't give a shit who you think you are.
You
Look,
like
Hitler
you
tried to
can't back,
change the
you
Jews.
can't
How'd
roll
that
back.
work out?
You
Okay.
can't roll back time and make sure they never exist.
Nah,
They are
that ain't gonna
here.
happen. Again, I reflect back to Hitler. Hitler tried to change
Yeah.
Jews. I mean, my man tried. Like, you
Well, it
can't.
put a dent in the numbers.
Yeah,
I mean,
but no, we didn't, because there's more now than there was then. So
yeah, but is that the reason why that is?
the argument could be said as what Hitler is. What if some of those people were going to be worse than him?
Ah,
What if some of those people that, not God forbid, but God bless, were going to be murderers or whatever? Pedos, hippos, name it.
He
Is
did
it okay
change
then?
he did change the course of history by doing that. Exactly the
I don't
reason
think anybody could argue that.
what you're saying
Made
now.
it worse.
Yeah, but it worse for the better or for the worse. He changed
It
it.
changed it. Yeah.
That's every person who takes a life changes the course of history. Or has the ability to change the course of history. Because if you kill that person that's supposed to be doing something, I don't know, or that person's children are supposed to be doing something important, you just erased that line and you changed history.
no, because we were talking about fate. He didn't do anything like that. Those people that were taken away, that was their fate to be taken away. So he didn't do anything that wasn't already written that was going to happen.
Yeah. See, that's why it's a weird
Yeah,
fate is a
that's a
weird
tough
It's
thing.
pill to swallow.
complicated.
That's a lot of
Yeah.
people for fate.
Yeah, because he went into history books as a was he dictator, probably a dictator.
Yeah, he was a
I would
dictator.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we will never know what could have happened if he was accepted into art school. Maybe he was
Right.
destined to be an amazing painter. We will never know.
But listen, his goal was to get rid of them all. He failed miserably. He didn't do the genocide that he was supposed to do, that he wanted to do.
Well,
I don't know about
No,
failed
no,
miserably.
no,
because of his
no, no.
health.
I don't know about failed
No.
miserably.
You just said he didn't fail miserably because it's fate that he only did that amount of people.
No. He failed in his eyes because he wanted to eradicate everyone and everything that was not him. So he failed in his personal goal, not in
No, it
his
wasn't
goal
his
that
own
was in
image.
fate.
It wasn't motivated by his own image because he clearly
Right,
wasn't
'cause he-
blonde and blue-eyed.
Correct. But that's what he wanted to get rid of. He wanted to get rid of a
You know-
certain sect of people.
A lot of people think that was Hitler's main goal. I don't know where people
It
got
wasn't.
that. I don't know where
Because-
people got that. It
because he
wasn't
killed
about
so
killing
many.
Jews. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm just saying that's not what his main goal was. That's
He
not
wanted
his
to
goal.
eradicate. It started out with eradicating pests in factories, and that's what they used. And then he was just a what was it called, a germaphobe, and it went worse and worse and worse. He wanted to eradicate the filth on the earth, gypsies,
Right.
all that stuff. What he saw as dirty
Genetically-
or wrong,
Nah.
inferior.
You
Genetically
need to,
inferior.
you need to dig a little bit deeper. It's not even his. He's the person behind it. There were powers that be that told him to do that.
Yeah.
Before Hitler was what he was, there was a very powerful organization behind him that wanted him. I can never remember the name of the organization. It would be like the Freemasons, but German. I just cannot remember the name. But those are the people that told him to talk about
Get
it.
rid of those.
But that still was not his main goal. And like that
That
wasn't
Right.
one of-
That
It
was
was
not his goal.
motivated by money, actually.
When is it never?
I don't feel.
money.
Yeah,
When?
but I don't feel like Hitler wanted money. I feel like he wanted to have a unified Germany and take over the world, to have
The, the,
one
the hate on
one
the Jews,
unified.
the hate on the Jews, and that the common people rallying behind it was motivated by money, and the fact most of the Jews had the stores, the banks. So most of the German people owed Jews money,
Like
a
today.
lot of money. They were the financial. They still had to do the same thing behind the curtains. They're pulling strings. They still have the same thing. Diamond sector in Antwerp. Everywhere you go, Jews are behind big companies and money, and that's why the common German folk rallied behind the idea of let's get rid of
Get
them
rid of them because
because
then
I
we don't
owe
have
them.
the.
So
That's originally because he wasn't it Workers' Party or something that he initially came up in? As
Yeah, he was in the Workers' Party right before he.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Arbeit-
And then the argument be said is, why did God make that person if it's going to create that type of, and why give him that power? Why doesn't God step in and say, okay,
Well, did
It's
the
the s-
people give
it's
him
the
that
same-
power?
say again, John?
Didn't the people give him that power? You only have strength of numbers, right? So if people start, every person or most of the population start following him, that's not God giving them that power. He gained that power because people started following him. You could make the horrible comparison between him and let's say, a prophet.
Ooh.
God put him on this earth, right?
What's
I'm
the
not saying
argument
I
of him
think
versus
that.
prophet? Prophet's idea is to change. What's the argument? Is that they're both powerful people, meaning to change perception?
Yeah, and then the fact that they only gain, I wouldn't say power, uh, believability because it has multiple followers or many
biggest
followers.
difference. Biggest difference. The prophet is human. God is a god.
Oh yeah,
And if
Yeah,
you look at
but
what God does and allows to be done and everything, you have to be honest. God, he's a vengeful God for starters, and he has a kind of a mean or a dark streak.
I
He's
feel
not
like
all
he.
love.
I don't know if I agree with that.
The dark streak was on the Old Testament. The New Testament has nothing of a dark streak. The Old Testament is where he was pitting people up against other people, family against family, throwing, making the earth, full of water for 40 days. Um, that was him. Sodom and Gomorrah, where he had everyone killed there. Like that was him being vengeful. That's all in the Old Testament. Everything afterwards is showing how God is compassionate. God
because he got
is
older.
not.
Because
He got wiser.
An older.
he
Or he
got
gave
wiser.
up.
My creation is
Or
not.
he gave up. There's no healing this. Just let it run rampant. It'll.
That was the idea,
See where
right?
it
Wipe
goes.
them all away, start fresh again. Here we go.
Right.
Again.
And it didn't work, right? We're still in the same situation. He wiped out the whole earth, right? You had everybody on a boat, and then we started all over again.
Multiple
And then what
times.
happened? Yeah.
There's been more than one flood, so it's not just the one time. There's been more cataclysms where he wiped the slate clean and started over again.
How big Noah's Ark had to be to put all the animals in the world on it. Man, that's a big ass ship. Like, that's bigger
Yep.
than an aircraft carrier. That's a big ship. And you didn't have no machines? You made that ship by hand? Jimmy,
Yep.
frick it, bro. You managed to warp that wood to form that bow. Or bow? Yeah. Okay.
Not only that, could you imagine the smell on that boat?
Ah,
Oof.
how many floors were on it? How many animals? Like how many? So you got two.
All the
every
animals
animal.
too. Yeah.
And how do you bring enough food? Because you don't know how long it's gonna take. You said 40
that's the
days.
thing,
You
though.
only know that after.
But the days then were different than the days now. They're
Shorter?
determined different.
You mean-
Time was created by man.
Yeah.
40 days back then could have been 40 years
Or 40 minutes.
or 40 seconds. We're going to make a massive flood and we're done. That's it.
Yeah.
It's over. That I built this shit for 20 years and it was literally 40 seconds. Oh man. Wow.
They also said that Noah lived to be 200 years old or something like that. So their concept
Yeah,
of
it's-
time was not
it's not the same
good.
as what it is now. Man has created time. How do you
Yeah.
know that a year is 365 days? How do you know that? Based off of
because we
what?
base it,
The moon?
we base it off right. We base it no,
Based
not on the moon. How many times the Earth rotates around the sun?
Ooh, that sounds like science. Ooh.
That's horse shit. That's horse shit.
Right.
Because
But
sometimes it's
that's-
quicker than the other.
Mm,
You have global warming. What do you mean? What do you mean?
That's just the weather. That's the weather. That's the weather.
whatever.
But
The
what do you
Earth is
think
on
the
an
weather's got to
axis.
do with?
Right, but the
You could
Earth is on
argue
an
that-
axis going around the sun.
Here comes science. Here we go with
You
science.
could argue that the 24 hours in a day, then you're right, because they every so many years they have to add on 0 point amount of seconds. That's
wrong.
you're right.
If you base those 24 hours on daylight now, you're completely wrong.
Right.
Yeah, bro, it's getting dark here at 6:05. Okay,
Right.
Same.
6:05. I'm like, my shades don't even know what to do. I had them set for sunset. It said, look, last year I was closing at 7. This year I close at 6:55. Next year I'm gonna close at 6 p.m. Okay, what the fuck? If my shades don't know when sunset is. And that's got a sensor, by the way. So either my sensor's broken or the time is broken. Shit is weird, bro. It's 42 degrees in June in Jersey. Something's wrong. Something ain't right. This time is wrong. We got to go back. It's daylight savings time. And that doesn't make any different either because they want to remove it. There's a lot of states that are removing it from their thing. Okay,
Right.
great. But then it still doesn't make sense. If it goes by 1 minute every day, if we lose, let's just say hypothetically, we lose 1 minute every day.
Of daylight. We lose it.
Forever. This is forever. There's no more
We're gonna be dark.
365 days in a year. There's no more.
There won't be,
It's
won't be any
impossible.
more days. It'll be just nights. If we're taking a minute off of every single day,
Yeah, I mean, that's
Then there's-
a bit extreme, but I mean, if you're taking
Yeah.
a minute off of every day for 20 years, it's going to be like 13 days in a year. I mean, you're going to get old as shit quick.
Yeah, less holidays. You can't go take a week off from work.
And I think that's why they have the 29th. I think that's why they have a leap year, because that's the fuck up day. It's like, we got to make this shit up something.
It is.
Just add an extra day in February. Make it every 4
is.
years. We'll
Yeah,
compensate
it
it.
is. It is actually.
That's what I'm saying. But there's going to get to a point where that day, I think we're there now, where it doesn't make any sense. Because now you got to add a 30th of February. I'm just saying. You got to add an extra day in there somewhere. Because now it's fucked up. We caught up to that 24 hours.
If the
Now we need
rotation of
another
the Earth, if the rotation of the Earth slows down enough, then you could.
Oh, and it
actually
only
say-
does it every 4 years? Every
No,
4
no,
years, the Earth's like, let me take my slow ass time.
No. That's consecutively, but they
Oh,
that's
shit.
some international agreement.
Horseshit science bullshit, Matthew. It's horseshit. And 2 more days in October, 1 more day in February, and the 3rd day in April. We'll call it a day. Even us out for the next 20 years. This is why I say fuck what happens in 100 years. Who cares? Oh, the Earth's going to blow up the methane gas.
If that's
Who
the
gives
case-
a shit. Who cares?
if
Who-
that's the case, why not make all the months 20 days or 25 days and then add an extra month and now you
Why
have
do we even
13
need
months.
dates? Why do you need dates? Why do you need dates?
Well, because if you say to somebody, "Come on Friday," when would they know? Or when would they know?
Oh, for scheduling purposes.
Yes,
Yeah, and
that's
that
basically
doesn't
what it
even
is.
work. And that doesn't even work. How many times do they reschedule? So that date isn't even.
You got to rethink this whole time shit again. Like someone's got to redo it. We got, we
But you
gotta-
can you can, because if you start thinking about it, almost everything is based on time.
The concept
You-
of time.
You going outside, putting on your GPS. If you have no time measurement, your GPS wouldn't work.
That's not true. The GPS
That's
would work.
true.
It just wouldn't
Look
give
it
you a
up.
time.
Look it up. If you have no
Look up
time
what?
management, your GPS wouldn't work.
You're not. No, you're wrong because the original GPSs didn't tell you what time you were going to arrive somewhere.
It works
They only
off of
told you
time.
to
I'm
go
not
here, go
wrong.
there.
I'm not wrong. I know how a GPS works. I'm not wrong. Look it up.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to get involved in this little tiff here.
What?
GPS is Global Positioning System.
System. Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck has that got to do with time?
Yeah. Thank you.
It uses time. It's even corrected because the satellite is in a higher orbit, so time passes differently over there than it does on the Earth.
It needs to compensate. Yeah.
And that's compensated even. And the GPS sends you time. It sends a time code. You receive a
But
time
orig-
code, and it knows
Yes.
where you are, what altitude you are, because it knows
Okay.
the
All right. All right, I got you. I got you. Ready for this? Fuck GPS. What about compass? You tell me that's time too?
no.
Well, that's GPS.
Poles.
That's the
No.
original GPS, but that's what it is. It's the original
No,
GPS.
No, it's not. A compass is something
it
else
is.
than a GPS. That's not the same
No.
thing. It
No,
includes
because
a
if I needed to
GPS.
go north-
No. It includes a GPS, a digital one, but it's not the same thing as a GPS. A compass and a GPS are two different things.
Well, they both help you navigate.
Yes,
They both
that's the
help you
whole idea.
navigate.
Different
Well, one is
ways.
based off the magnetization.
Magnetic-
I get the argument, but I don't think GPS has anything to do with time.
Yeah,
No.
look, I'm serious. Look it up.
If you're telling me if I use my GPS, like an actual GPS, like a sat phone, GPS navigational system, and I look at GPS at 12 o'clock at midnight, and I look it up at 7 o'clock, I'm going to be at different positions?
No, but the information it sends to you, the data train of information your GPS receiver receives,
Yeah.
includes a timestamp.
Who gives a shit? I don't give a fuck what time it is. I just need to find it. Like,
That's the way it works to
Right.
calculate where you are, where you're going, and
Why?
I'm serious.
Why does
Look
it need
up.
time
It's
to calculate
just-
where I am? I'm
No,
over
because
here. That's it.
Yeah, but it
Yeah,
compensates for the delay. I get. Yeah.
But okay, hold on.
But we
The
put time
original
on
argument
it to
here.
begin with.
Don't believe me. Don't look it up. Okay.
No, okay. I'm just trying to understand because the original point of a GPS was what? To tell you how to get from point A to point B. It never originally told you how long it's going to take. It only told
That's
you
not-
how to get there.
Nothing to do
Yeah,
with
but
the time.
The time of arrival has nothing to do with it. It's orbiting the Earth, right? The delay of the information is already worked in, so you have to have a set time to begin with to calculate that. If you didn't have a time, a clock, or a time period to begin with, you couldn't even point at point A and B and calculate the time delay between it. You need a set time to start with. And you can't say third rock left and there's the satellite and that's going to be the delay. That's not how it works. So you have to have that time
What do you
in
think?
between to calculate.
Yeah. How do you think a radar works?
I have no idea, so I can't even make up something.
You don't have a bow?
No, sorry.
Me neither. It's just, yeah, I can't even imagine how. But then, if you remove clocks, wouldn't we just work off sunlight then? Just based
Right.
on, let's remove.
you
electricity
can't because
as
the
well.
time is fucked up, Jorn.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
We're
your working
adding
days. Let's say-
days and months to compensate. We're doing daylight savings time to compensate. How much more compensation you need?
No, I'm not saying that. If we're going back in time, let's go back in time and we're working on fields, right? We won't have time. Then we would base it on the amount of time we have based on daylight. That's how long I can work in the field.
How about
if
this?
Daylight is
I
gone-
got it. Give her the dates. Give her the dates.
Yeah.
Say, listen, I'll see you in 5 sunrises.
Nice.
That works.
Oh, that's
it. That it doesn't. that's
That's how it used to be.
That's I'll see you 5 sunrises and 3 sunsets. What? What day do I? What day am I coming?
This
Every day
happened
is a Sunday.
20 moon cycles ago. This and this happened.
That's
That
it.
worked.
That's all.
But
Just
that's
cut this shit out with dates.
That's
Just
the way
stop
they used to
it.
do it. No, that's the way they used to
Right.
do it.
And why did we change it? For convenience. Because we're fucking lazy.
And we will meet
What?
up at the old oak. That one. There's
That
no-
one oak tree, yeah, and make sure so Jimmy doesn't cut it down. But that's the one tree. So someone needed a house, and they were like, "Cut that fucker down."
And then
Is
you
it
would
the
meet
one
at
with
the
the yellow
house.
ribbon? Is it the one with the yellow ribbons or the other one?
The other one,
Oh.
it's people. It's people that decided time, that decided definitions of words. People.
Yeah.
Started with
Yeah.
seasons and then dividing the
shit.
seasons and then dividing this and then you got smaller and smaller divisions until you have running time.
Yeah, but then would never work in, let's say, Florida. Florida is a great example. It doesn't even have seasons.
That's what I'm saying to you. It don't make sense.
In New York, we have 5
I
seasons a
guess.
day. We have 5 seasons a day in New York.
So every day is a year for you guys.
I guess so.
That's-
I should be 500 years old. I should be 500
See,
years
that makes
old
sense.
now.
Maybe Noah was from like New York. He's from Northeast. That's why he was 625 or 950. Because it's like every fucking day I wake up, it's another day. Like another year.
It's another year.
When,
Oh,
when do you
hold on,
guys
5,200.
when do you guys think accounting for time or season started?
Well, that was in the Bible. That's in the
It's even
Bible.
before. It's even before the Bible.
Well,
It started as
in theory,
as-
it was nothing before the Bible.
yeah.
And
Okay.
if we're going, no,
Okay.
I mean,
rolled
in the
his
Bible,
eyes.
you created Earth. There's nothing else here, man. Like, there's nothing else
Yeah,
here.
but before.
There is no before. Okay, so what? Aliens? I mean, based off the Bible, that is the creation of man. There's no in between there. I guess you could use the argument and say, that's a fair argument, Matthew, since you love outer space so much, is that if God was, here's the ultimate question. Oh, God, I feel so sinful saying this. But I'll do this for you, Matthew, because I like you and you're my friend. Who created God?
He was just there.
That's the universal question, right?
That can't be the answer. You don't just show up. Like you just hey, I'm
like-
here. Something
Hold on,
had
the
to
universe-
create you.
What
How
was
is
the
it still
universe
difficult to
before?
understand that, though?
That's
Yeah,
like
because if the argument is that God created the universe, what was here before that? Nothing?
yeah.
Just
Nothing.
But that's something our minds can't grasp. That's like infinity. Our minds cannot grasp infinity.
Right.
Unless it's a ring, it has no beginning, no
even
end.
if you use science, science can't still explain that. There's
Nope.
nothing or God. You have to believe that everything is created by something. God created earth. God
Yep.
created heavens down below.
He willed himself to
and
existence.
and what is it called? Heaven, earth, and underworld. So you created those three. Before that, it was what? Just air? Okay, fine. What created you to create that? Nothing?
He willingly.
Nothingness.
It's darkness, right?
It's not the
Nothing,
answer.
just
It can't be the
darkness.
answer.
Even-
It's nothing.
Even if you go by the Big Bang, there still has to be that one super heavy particle that explodes to create everything. So there has to be something to create something. It's not possible out of nothing.
See, that's an
right.
argument that people that can't believe in God could say. That right there is what created God then. That's
he
an
willed
argument.
himself into existence. If you could believe that there's a guy in the sky, you could believe that the guy created himself or created everything around him.
But that doesn't add up, Spade, because if there's nothing, how can it will itself?
That's a damn good question. Is how did you come to be if there was nothing? And they don't cover that in the book.
No.
I don't know. That's a damn good question. Though, is what happened? What created you? And why don't we worship that if that created the all-knowing?
He was always here.
Right.
But then
Unless that was an accident, and that doesn't want the notoriety.
so but then if if there was already anorganic
Of question.
that's not God is not organic, so that doesn't work either. That had to be some form of energy then that came together and formed matter, or like I said,
But it's
God
not an
isn't
actual.
matter.
It's not a. But it's not an actual. It's not a thing. It's not a.
Yeah, it's not
like
matter.
God is not on a throne, just sitting there like picture it like a ball of light. That's the best way I can explain it.
Right.
But people
Still,
picture him like
energy
with Matthew
doesn't
with a
come out
great
of
white
nowhere.
beard, white robe, like Zeus. That's not God. There's no depiction of what I think. What only where my religious people? Where's my believers in chat? Only one person actually saw God. Correct? Only one. Moses that saw God physically.
Is
I
there
don't
one?
think he even saw
I think
him.
it's
I don't even think he saw
there
him.
is a person that saw God. I know there is. I think it's Moses.
No, wasn't Moses just on top of the mountain while he was listening to all the commandments coming
Someone
to him?
saw. It's in the.
No, it was
I
both
know it's in
fire.
the Bible.
I thought you couldn't look upon the true face of God or hear
Yeah.
his voice because it would
Moses saw
destroy you.
God face to face upon an unknown mountain sometime after he spoke to the Lord in the burning
Yeah.
bush. Yes,
Oh.
Moses. Moses is the only one that saw God, like face to face.
Or who he thought he saw.
No. That gave me goosebumps. He saw God. So that's the only physical person I actually saw. So to depict what God is, the question is what created that? That's the better question. If the argument is that God created himself, out of what? If you
I think Matthew
created the
nailed it.
universe, what did you create yourself with?
I think he nailed it by saying that we don't have the understanding of how that was
Nope.
done.
Yeah, I don't think
don't
our
have the
minds
mental-
can.
Yeah.
No,
We don't have
your
it.
brain
process
can't
that.
fathom it.
You can't
Your
process
brain can't handle it. It's like
Or-
the universe is endless, yes, but what is the universe in?
Right. A black
It has
hole.
to have a beginning and an end. That's because we live
Well, yeah.
in a house,
Something must go down.
in a town, in a country, on a world, and everything we can grasp is limited. So we can't
So,
truly grasp
You just
infinity.
we just kicked our own asses, Matthew, with that statement.
Why?
Science will
How?
always be limited, and science will always be behind because it's limited with our own puny human minds.
Correct. That is true.
Didn't care. Why would that kick my statement?
No, both of ours, because we're always going to be lagging behind. Always.
Yeah, we've been through the science conversation. I don't think YouTube or Twitch can handle the
No.
with science.
It was good.
Well, yeah, no, it was great. I just don't. I'm not doubting their intelligence, but I don't think they're going to get the message in there because that took us 5 hours to get to a punchline of an agreement, which still did not happen.
Yeah.
So,
Weird how that works, and we're still all here, right?
yeah. How we
Great.
understood. Sure.
Yeah. And I learned some things out of it. So
Yeah, I don't think the internet is ready for that conversation. I mean, it's a legitimate question. You can't say if we base it off of depiction of not even biblical, just of writing, that if Moses met God, then the argument that God does not exist. Now, if no one ever saw him, you might have an argument that he doesn't exist. But if there's somebody, again, we're talking about the writings of man. But again, if we're talking about someone that actually saw God, we can agree that there is one. Depicted.
Yeah, but you're going
Depicted.
right.
That's what we're talking about.
But that's like saying I can wake up tomorrow and say I saw him too. You have to
I
believe
see
me.
God every day. I just don't see it in a fashion of face to face.
But
I
Jay,
don't-
then wait, because you believe like God is like a ball of energy or whatever, right? That's
Sure.
your image of, but so you couldn't really believe in the Bible because if I'm not wrong, it says He created us to after His image, right?
Yes.
So that's one of the things why you don't adhere to one religion or that a specific religion because it wouldn't account for it. It would have to look like a man with a beard, or it would have to be somewhat human form.
Yeah,
Right.
but he's been in
That's why they-
multiple forms.
Couldn't be a ball of light.
Yeah, but he's been vocal as well. So whether or not it wouldn't, just because something has a voice doesn't make it a human. I mean, there's other animals that talk and they're not human.
Yeah, but I'm saying, in the Bible it says He created man to His own to or
Likeness,
like
yeah.
to His own likeness, so that it infers that God would be like a man.
That's why we assume that he's a guy that has a white beard because Moses
Yeah.
probably had a
I
white
don't know.
beard
I
at
don't
that
know
point.
if I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree. How do you know that men weren't 20 feet tall? How do you
Probably
know
would. It's a possibility.
how do you know they weren't giants? You know, there's nothing that says the size or the weight. We come up with an interpretation and we just draw that. For instance, I hate to use this in this conversation. How do we know that having an uncircumcised dick is normal? Now, hear me out. I'm not trying to make a joke. But everybody that draws a penis, I'm being serious. Everybody that draws a penis, they always draw where it's circumcised. Why?
No,
Even
they draw.
people
no,
that
no,
are
no. They draw.
hold on. But even people that are uncircumcised, if you ask them to draw a penis, it will be circumcised. It's
Because
what
they
you
draw-
want the penis to be.
Because they draw an erect penis. If you ask
No,
somebody to
even
draw
if
a
you-
penis, are they gonna?
Yeah, but
a
even if you
non-erect
have someone
penis?
draw a
No.
limp penis, go look at what's his name? Oh boy, Caesar, whoever the hell that is. His dick, he got a penis head. The Greek statue with the bush.
Oh yeah.
They
David?
probably circumcised
Talking
him as
about-
well.
He was circumcised, really. Really? You just,
I don't
you
know.
Start cutting dicks. Just hey, you got some extra shit. the dude, man, what the hell's his name, man? Atlas?
But it's not like the money the hood we have. It stays the same way when it's erect. It goes away.
You're not. It's not about the penises, bro. It's the argument. It's what you depict it to be. So what a
visual
human
representation.
is what you
Yeah,
think
but it's
it
not only
is.
depiction. Jay, it's not. I mean, it literally says He made us in His own image. So even if it's 20 feet or 100 feet
Sure.
tall, it still look like you have the attributes.
No, his own
look
image,
like a man.
no, you're taking the word too literal. His own image, like what my idea is. Draw it in my image, like the way that I think, not who
Oh, the way I
am.
see it. The way I see it, yeah.
You're
what
taking
you're
the word too literal, like clone me and make me
Right.
Yeah.
a person. No.
But
My-
isn't that
give me
the
my
way most
image. Like
people
if I
take
said
it?
to you, if you're an artist, I said, give it to me in my image. That doesn't mean draw it like me. Give it to me the way that I think.
Right. The way I
No, but
envisioned it.
That's an interpretation most people do, right? Hence the depiction of God and Jesus like a man, and why else would you depict him as a man?
I don't depict him as a man.
I know, but
So you-
I'm saying most of people and
because you need to put a face to it. You have to. It has to be.
recognizable. You need to see
Why?
it. You need to understand it. It has to be recognizable to you. So
Not
for
only
you,
that,
you
if you
picture
want
it as another person.
marketing, if you want to market it, you need an icon.
Because that's
Right.
that-
It
that's
can't
what
be
they
just
did
a
back
ball. Can't
You
be
need
just
somebody
ball
to
of
fear.
hair.
Yeah, because you said most people, Matthew, but we both are thinking about organized religion because they put out the most amount of images, not
Yep.
regular people. and you need it. I mean, you need a logo. Every good company has a nice logo.
You need a whip or a cane to whip the people with.
What the?
What? Think about it.
So they drew him on the tablet, and they were like, "This is what he looks like. This is a self-portrait
Tablet.
with the hammer and the chisel on the tablet." That's what it was.
On the back of the commandments, like a like,
Yeah.
like a.
This is what he looks like, guys.
Was the first passport. Look.
The first-
Well, they didn't have driver's licenses back then, so yeah. Come on.
This is what he looks like. Let me chisel it away.
Could you imagine? An ox in
Yeah,
a
I
car,
don't think
driver's
it's a
license in your
human being.
pocket.
Like, I don't think it looks like a human. I don't know. I don't think God even resembles a human being. Almost alien life form esque, like a ball of bright
Yeah.
light.
Well, light.
I
Yeah.
would say, could he assume human form? Yes.
Yeah.
He did that with Jesus.
Does he actually look like a human being? No.
I mean, even if you like, the Passion of Christ is not accurate to what biblical, because they describe the skin tone of Jesus. He would have been much darker,
Yeah.
Middle Eastern. So
Not darker.
and short.
yeah, it wouldn't. It doesn't. The depictions of him, even on a cross, doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It's not accurate. If you're going off the Bible of what color he should be, it's not the same color. It's different. That's man-made.
He would have curly hair. He wouldn't have straight hair. It would be more.
Darker
Was he
complexion.
also in the Bible
Yep.
actually described as being white? No, right?
No.
Is he actually?
No.
So maybe
Of course
that's
you could-
because they didn't have the right paint back then. If you're trying to recreate them as a symbol and you're doing statues and stuff like that of glass, that you didn't have the necessary tools to depict them correctly because you didn't have the paint colors. I don't know.
Or the depiction is because they wanted to make him
I got a good question.
immaculate or radiant.
This is going to be a weird question, but I got a good one. Going back into religion or belief of God and Jesus. Oh God, I'm not going to hell for this, please. Right? I'm just spitballing here. If Jesus was a carpenter, okay, I get the analogy. He built things. I get it. Did he actually build any tables? Just bear with me for a second, or like a chair or something.
Well, he worked with Joseph, didn't he?
I don't.
So I'm
I
sure.
don't know. I think the question is. Here's the question.
Where are his tables and why are
Yes,
they not being
Where
sold?
where is a chair or something, an ashtray or something that he built today?
Jesus furniture.
Yo, you know how much that couch is worth?
Ooh, we don't have enough money for that.
And the Vatican's gonna put that right at the entrance, right? But if he built, and I'm not trying to be funny, although it seems comedic, why is there no? We could find fossils, man, from fucking 500 million years ago, but you can't find a chair. Like,
Yeah, but they didn't have varnish or stuff like that way back when. So
then what did he
probably
build?
was.
No,
But
No,
what he
but wait.
built?
they kept the shroud and everything. So why wouldn't his disciples keep things he made? Jay's
Yeah,
right.
like an end table or something, or I don't know, an ottoman, like something. How are you gonna find dinosaur bones, bro, from 500 million years ago, and you can't find one piece of wood that Jesus made?
Well, what if they looked at it from a different perspective? If we had a table that he created, people would worship the table. We
Absolutely.
don't want him to be worshipped. Right.
Absolutely,
we
I
don't
love
want
that
people-
table so much.
Right, but you're not there to worship the table. You're there to worship.
No,
the
you
person who
absolutely
created
are.
the table.
Jesus made this. Everything
No,
Jesus
no,
made is
no.
good.
Those are false idols.
That's not a false
a
idol.
false
Jesus made this.
Yes, but you're supposed to believe in him, not the table he created.
But then why did God give him a profession?
He got the perfect. He needed to eat.
Nah, man. God made him and said, yo, listen, I know you could weld and shit. Let me help you out make some tables. Let's make some tables. I'm just saying, it's a legitimate question. If you could find dinosaur bones or a mosquito that's 300 million years old, where the fuck? Oh, here's your woodwork. That's what. Where's that picture frame? You had to make something.
What happened was somebody got cold one winter night and they didn't have any more wood, so they took Jesus' stuff and they threw it into the fire.
No, that fire
so they
was
could
hot.
keep warm.
That was a hot
what
fire,
I'm saying.
boy. That was keeping everybody warm forever.
So that's why they don't have anything that he created, because they used it as heating source.
What is this? This damn table won't burn. Damn it.
Yeah, I think the question would be: is did he stain it? Did he wax it? Is the
They didn't
wood
have that back
was
then.
it kept? You know, it probably, I don't know, termites or some shit ate it up.
Did he prick his finger on a splinter? Is there of his blood and sweat on the
That's
table?
what I'm
or on the chair?
saying, dude. If you could find a rag that he wiped his face with, you can't find a piece of wood that he made.
Well,
There's
okay,
something that's weird to me.
hold on. The reasoning why they have the clothes is because he died in those clothes.
But what if
and
he
they
died
just-
on a cross that he made? Oh shit!
Yeah, where's the
Oh.
cross? That's got to be wood.
It's not
is
made of
wood.
styrofoam.
No.
I sure hope not, because that'd be weird.
Could you imagine if you were Jesus and they were like, "Listen, we want you to carry this big piece of shit of wood up all this cobblestone, and you got to build it." I would use the shittiest wood I could find. Yo, where's that particle board at? Let me see that. Where's that
Did
box?
you
We're
just
gonna
warp
nail
it?
you to it?
Build it
And
out
then
of
we
two.
nail you.
Think, right? Because the materials they used are used because they were available at that time. So if it would happen again, it's probably a 3D printed cross now.
Not
Shit,
bad.
it'd
be
Not
full
bad.
organic.
And it'd be strong. Good, great tensile strength. Nylon.
Yeah,
All
Weatherproof.
black.
and it'd be
Nice.
organic.
Doesn't recycle well, but
Carbon fiber. Carbon fiber, you can reuse it.
Ooh, carbon fiber
That's
cross.
sexy.
You got to
I don't
bring
think
it
they
in
had
when it
carbon
gets sunny
fiber.
though, because it'll start to make the resin turn yellow.
Another one. Did
And
the crosses really look like crosses back then, or were they big T's?
There's gonna be a lot.
Because it's always the picture
Yeah,
of
who
him.
took the? Hold on, go backwards now. Let's go back. See, now I'm starting to find flaws in this. Who took the crosses down?
Romans.
The Romans,
left them?
probably.
The Romans.
The Romans built
Or
them,
they-
didn't they?
did
That's
they
how they were
reuse-
killing
I'm not
people.
asking how they built them. I'm saying who took them out of the ground.
No, they left them there for the next person. They're not going to keep taking it out.
Well,
You
where
have
are
to
they
take
now?
it down. You have to take it down, nail another one on, and then
Oh, you mean that?
Where they at now?
Eventually, the
Firewood,
wood
like
got worn
Spain
out. Yeah,
What do you mean
firewood.
it got worn out? I've seen houses that were built in the year 600.
yeah, but you're
do you mean it got
pulling
worn out?
Nails. You're pulling out
It got
nails,
cold.
putting new ones in. Your holes.
Oh, so you wore it out.
Yeah.
By
Ah.
nailing people on there.
Is there actually a cross somewhere?
That's what I'm
In a
saying.
museum or something? It doesn't have to be Jesus's cross, but from that time period, are there any surviving
Is there any?
crosses?
That's a better question. Is there any
I don't think so.
furniture that exists today that's from the year one? I think that's a better question. If the answer is yes,
Pots.
there's nah. You're not clay. I'm talking about like made out of wood. Maybe that's why God gave him carpentry, because he knew that when the time came,
was valid.
everybody would know that the wood would be shit. So I'm gonna give you the dumbest job.
Thomas Jones.
That is not timeless. Okay. And what the hell would you make in the year zero? Like, what are you making?
Well, they have
Jay,
boats
the-
and stuff. So
The oldest wood anything is 950 years old.
See
And it's
that
a
that
door.
right there. That
And it's a
just
door.
okay. So God knew. God knew we would look for his woodworks.
Yep.
he was already concerned with recycling and the planet.
I like it.
Organic
I like it.
decomposition.
Very
I
nice.
mean,
I like this green god.
And how come, better question is when the Romans went to go pick up the cross on the hill, were they like, oh shit, he's not here?
No,
that's
because
not how
they
that
knew he
happened.
wasn't there because they laid him in the tomb.
Yeah, they put him in the tomb and they closed the tomb with the
Yeah.
rock.
Yeah, but
He
then when they went back to the
disappeared out of the
tomb that they
tomb.
lost and they found 10 years ago, they realized he wasn't in there.
Right. How'd he get out?
You're not getting what I'm
Okay.
saying? So let me ask that question again. The Romans went to go get him. Yeah?
Yeah.
Where was he?
He wasn't there.
Nowhere to be found.
Ah.
I say,
But now you're
here's
getting
the
what I'm
thing.
saying. He wasn't there. He might have been there physically, but he wasn't there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, he could have been physically gone, but would you tell? Okay, we're assuming we're role playing. We're both
Yes,
Romans,
all right. We
right?
role play Jesus.
It's
I like it. We're all going to hell,
No,
by
no.
the way.
No, we're
go
not
ahead.
role playing Jesus. Jesus isn't.
Oh,
in this
Jesus is his
equation.
own field. We're role playing the scenario.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Situation, yeah.
We're playing
Okay,
the
got
Romans.
it.
We're
Yep.
doing the 9 to 5. We need to guard
Okay.
that stuff, right?
Okay.
So after a couple of days, we open it up. It's not there. Okay. Am I gonna take the fall or you? Or are we just gonna lie? Pretend, close it back up. He's still in there.
Did they
It's
go
good.
back? Hold on. I think the better question is, did they actually, because we just found it, 5 years ago or something? And we were expecting to see somebody in there.
I don't know why you would think that.
I don't know.
I don't know why
But
anyone would
anyway,
think that.
So when they put him in the tomb, did they actually go back to see if he was there?
Yeah, 3
Well,
days
yeah, they
later.
opened
Right?
up 3 days later. 3 days later, they opened it up. That's
No,
how we
you're not
celebrate
asking.
Easter.
You're not answering my. Did they actually go back to see if he was there?
Yes.
According to the
Yes.
tale, yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think. I think they just no one wanted to go do it, so they were just like, "Yeah, we showed up." You going for a ride? Okay,
And what? He's not there.
That's
that's
where
what
they
I'm
found
saying.
the
I don't
shroud,
think they
right?
actually showed up. They might
No, but
tell
that-
you that they did.
No, they were
that's
guarding
where
it.
they
Weren't
get-
they guarding it?
That's where they get the shroud from, right? Because that
Right.
was there.
Right.
So they went back in and they found the shroud of Turin.
Okay, but are you
And he
sure they
wasn't
went
in
back
it.
in there?
See, but
Again, that's what the tale is.
See, but it's all nobody accounts for human error, and that's why I was doing the thing. What if the 2 or 3 people that were guarding him were taking
One.
off? Their disciples actually took the body and they lied about it. to
Yeah, how you know
cover
they
their
didn't
own
beat
ass.
up or put some chloroform on one of the Roman guards' mouth, make him pass out, or put him in a sleeper hold like Ric Flair, and
Or use
just
some wood or like a chair.
yeah, or something, right? Or threw a crucifix at him, hit him in the forehead, knocked him out, took Jesus out. He never died. It's all a ruse. He was never in there.
Still walking
That's the
around.
thing
Still alive.
ever.
Yeah,
So
we
he's
don't even
still
want to
alive,
get into
that's what you're
that
saying.
because the argument could be said is that Jesus had a child, right? He
Oh,
Yes.
impregnated Mary Magdalene. Where's that baby?
Yep.
So that means that there's a descendant of Jesus Christ somewhere. I mean, how deep you
Correct.
want to go with this?
The Holy Grail.
Somewhere, someone is related to Jesus.
The Holy Grail
There's a,
I
there's a
believe
woman.
that.
There's a woman.
is
Not an option.
some people say the Holy Grail isn't really a cup. It's the descendant of the descendants of Jesus.
The
Yeah.
shape of the womb. The Holy Grail is not an object, but Catholics like to make it a cup just because.
Because they're
That's
idolizing.
That's like from the Indiana Jones movie. That I love that part of the movie. Is like everybody's looking for a golden chalice full with emeralds and other shit. He was a carpenter. He would have been drinking out of the
Yeah.
simplest cup you can ever imagine.
Yeah.
I mean,
He didn't have money. He didn't have money. So why would he own a cup like that to drink out of?
No, I just think there's a lot of holes written inside of that book. That's all I'm saying. That's
It's man-made.
But that's because we as humans wrote the book, and it was a
Man
story.
made.
Already before it was even written, it was I told you the story. You told the story to somebody else. We're playing a game of telephone. At the end, this whole story could be totally different. We don't know
yeah,
that.
not only that, Spade, we're limited by the knowledge we possess. So we
Correct,
possess
correct.
a little bit more knowledge now, so we can explain certain things now that we way back when we couldn't. So we had to
Right.
explain it somehow.
you think he made any chairs or something? I'm not trying to be funny.
no,
Had to be.
if he's a carpenter and lived to 34 years old.
33.
I mean, he spent the last 5 trying to cure leprosy and shit. So You think
Unless
you
it
made
was
like
a
a
very stupid
chair?
carpenter.
You had to make
It-
something, right? In order
Yeah.
for you to be considered something, you'd have to actually make it.
And it's not
Right.
like they went to college until they were 30 and then started working.
Right? There was
I
no
mean, they started
school.
working at what, 9, 10, 11?
Yeah, you gotta have like a stool or something. There's got to be something out there.
AC Designs.
I like it.
Chase.
I like it. I like it.
Oh, who knows? Maybe the Vatican, the basement of the Vatican.
That's what I'm thinking. They probably have it locked up somewhere.
Yeah, how do you know? Like, what about those lost scrolls, man? Which is real, which I find strange. Some
Which
shit
is the
you don't
missing
wanna-
missing
You don't want to
pages.
put in the Bible, but there are scriptures that are just what is in those that you don't want to put in there. Like
It's
what?
everything that
Hmm.
It's everything that happened after he was like what 9 years old, because the Bible talks about up until he's like 9 years old. After that, he disappears.
No,
until
because as an
he's
adult, they
33.
talk about him curing leprosy and shit. in
Yeah.
New
Yeah,
Testament.
as an adult, what happened between the age of 9 and him being 33?
Well, that's the
We don't
whole
know
Mary
that.
Magdalene thing. But you have all those parts. You're only telling the front of the story and the back. Of the
Right.
I need to
Yes.
know what is in those.
between.
What
Well, this-
possibly can be listed in there that you don't want to add to it.
But again,
I
those,
want-
these scrolls, they don't conform to what the church wanted. The
I get
story
that.
of the church,
I
and
get
what the
that.
church-
Where's
And
your
they
silence
also said
now?
who wrote them. It was an apostle, right? That wrote them.
Yeah, Paul.
They
Was
said
it Paul?
he got stuck in that cave for years on end, and he was tripping his balls off, and he wrote
Eating that
a
beetle
bunch
nut?
of
Oh,
Yeah.
DMT is
Eating beetle nut, just teeth are all rotted. This is all I got to eat. I just
The
want to see what's
explanation.
in that. Let me read that. I feel like people at the Vatican can go see that shit. Like I feel
probably.
like that is available to you.
If you're in the top level, yes.
I tell you what,
You have to be high up there.
I'd spend more time reading that than I would the actual Bible because I want to see the other side of the story.
But that would undermine the church, the religion of the church.
Forget the
So they're
church. We're
never
talking
gonna
about
do that.
the basic instructions before leaving Earth. If you've got
Yeah.
parts that are not in there, I want to see just out of mere curiosity alone, what is on there? What? Like,
What
give
if-
me a snippet, just one sentence, and then I could interpret.
Right.
it.
Like
what if it
What
said,
if
he
for
loses
instance-
virginity at 16?
What if it said, for instance, Jesus explicitly forbade making houses of worship,
Yeah.
and
But
you're
again-
the church? Do you really want that to get out? All the power, all the money, and all the that's one of the biggest businesses in that is
See, but then
probably
that-
is
hold
the
on.
biggest business
See,
in the
but
world.
then that's okay. I'm not losing faith here. I'm just saying, but then that puts a strain on everything that you believe is essentially a lie.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, not everything you believe. It's everything you, because your belief is the actual belief that there is somebody above you, right? The
No.
belief of how to believe him.
No,
As
no,
how to believe
that,
him.
but that comes
question.
from a root, right? That comes from the Bible.
Right.
If I give you this part of the story and I give you this part of the story and you believe those two, that's great. Now you find out that the whole center section of this book is missing. What you believe is not real, is not true. Because there's
Right,
a whole
context
part
is
of that missing. It'd be equivalent to being married to somebody and then finding out after 80 years that they were a dude. Uh-oh. Well, in the middle, everything is great. And at the end, I find out you got a dick. In the beginning, I thought you had a vagina. So, you know what I mean? Like, you got the whole, I still believe in God. I don't care what's in there. But I'm just
But
saying,
there's
just
a
like
difference
to know.
between there. But again, it's the difference between a belief and what's the other one we talked about? The man-made thing, religion.
right.
Believing in religion isn't the same thing.
Sure.
What we're talking about now is the Catholic or whatever, the Bible. It's based on it is the basis of a religion. Doesn't mean that's what really happened, but you can still believe that some variation of it happened. Like Spade
Right.
said, it's the old Bible. It's for starters, it's an amalgamation of 12 different beliefs. They all came together, and there were even more. But the 12 main ones with the most believers, they all came together. They compromised and they got one story. They made like, oh, we believe this, it has to be in there. Okay. But then if you get to put that in there, we believe this, it has to be put in there. So it's an amalgamation of 12
Yep.
different stories with different or stories with differences that's put together, and that's your Bible. And it's written like Spade said, it's written after the fact, years after the fact, because you had mouth to mouth before it was even written down. If somebody would have been there and followed Jesus and written down literally
How many Dead
everything
Sea
he did,
Scrolls are there? 7?
they say there are more. They're even lying about the
How do
number.
they
there.
find them? Is the better question. Where you get that from? How you get that?
Was it a herder boy or something? Went to have shelter in a cave or something and came upon them. I think it's a stupid accidental thing.
How do you even know those are real? What if it was just somebody writing fan fiction?
Science.
Again, you don't know.
The age of the paper, I
question
guess.
the
Wait a minute.
entire
I
book.
think
Yeah.
the better question is the original Bible, where you get that from? Will you just find some paper with some shit and just went with it?
Well, that's what Matthew was saying, that there was a whole bunch of people that sat there and wrote down the story.
Just wrote it down. Just wrote it down in modern day.
Right. Well, okay. So Christianity has different forms, right? Because you have Catholicism, you have Lutherans, and this and that. There's different versions. What's the difference? It's just how they pray
The
to that
laws
God.
of one of those religions. They all have a foundation, though. Jesus.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So
Yep.
at the end of the day, who's to say that the guy who believes in Catholicism,
Well, when you look at
is
the
different?
Quran, Jesus wasn't the son of God, but just a prophet.
He was a prophet. Right.
So there is some differences, but they all have one ultimate ruler, which is God.
Right. But I'm not saying between the religions. I'm talking about within the sect of Christianity. There's different versions of Christianity.
I want to see those scrolls, man. I want to see what is on. I don't care if somebody just
Good
made
luck.
it up. I want to see what that says. Translated to English.
There's even
Because
talk
it's gonna
about
be all shapes and shit. It's gonna be like hieroglyphics. You can't read it.
there's even talk about that time period. There are like 20 candidates that could have been Jesus.
Right?
Walking around, prophesizing and trying to get people to do whatever the Bible needs. There's not one, there's multiple that could be Jesus.
How crazy would it be? Guy on YouTube goes online. He says he's Jesus. Say you don't believe him. I don't believe you're not Jesus. Everybody would doubt him. Some people would believe, right? This happens all the time in America. People show up, they say they're Jesus. So someone says to him in chat, if you're Jesus, do this, like a magic trick. He snaps his finger, it happens. Literally, like magic. I don't believe that you're Jesus, because if you were, you'd have black hair. Snap my finger. Well, that's a filter, right? But you just do all these things to prove to the world that you're Jesus. I still think that there would be people that would not believe that that's Jesus. They would think
Right.
that even
If
if
God
you said to him,
himself-
if you're really Jesus right now, put a Lamborghini in my front yard. Done.
If God himself were to come down on a white cloud in a throne and land in the middle of the lawn of the White House, there will still be people not believing it.
Right. They would think it's a UFO or something.
That's stubbornness, or is that arrogance?
I don't think it's either. I think it's the fact that
It's something.
you've seen so much between the way technology works today, movies and whatnot. You wouldn't believe that. You wouldn't know what it is because your mind would be like creating so many scenarios that you don't know what it is. Could it be real? Possibly, but it's probably fake. The first thing you're going to think is it's going to be fake. No one's ever going to sit there first time seeing it saying, "Oh, that's real. I believe it." I highly doubt
Well,
it.
that's what's going to happen when Jesus comes down. He's
Right.
going to come down again.
Only
People are going to think that that's him. And uh-oh. That ain't
Then
him.
again,
Only
if you haven't seen it with your own eyes, would you believe? Would you believe it?
Knowing what I know that Jesus will come down fake and then come down real, yes, I would believe it. But that's because of my knowledge. I think most people would be like, oh my God, that's Jesus. Let me follow it. That's not what you're supposed to do. It's the second one, not the first.
The Antichrist.
Now, how do you know that the first one wasn't the one that was on a cross?
Oh.
Oh, let me just put a nail in that coffin real quick.
Well, then we're already lost. That's not
Well, how do you know? The argument can be said is, how do you know it didn't happen 30 years ago? And people always argue this. Oh, we know it didn't happen. How do you know?
You don't.
How do you know that? How do you know that his second coming wasn't in 1400? You don't know.
3,000 years ago.
Well, if we're using the year 0, okay, and
No, because that would be that could have been the false one, because you could go back 3,000 years.
oh, I get what
Be
you're
the real one.
And they
The
want,
false one
and
was
then a better
crucified.
question is, here's even a better question. If that's the argument, then they wouldn't want people to know that the second one came already. So we're going to write a book, call it the Bible, and pretend like that he never showed up a second time. How do you know that? How do you know that?
Yeah.
That's not in the scrolls. Like, look, I signed off. I'm out.
Well, you can go even further, because there's a first coming, then the false prophet, and then the second coming. So Jesus, year 0, could have been the second one, and then 4,000 years
Or it could
before
have been the
it
false
would be the
one.
first,
Or it could have been the false
Then-
one.
a false one, and then the one we put on the cross could be the real one, and we're living in purgatory now.
Let that sit in for a little bit.
Mind blowing. This is mind blowing.
Well, that actually makes sense.
How do you know that they weren't right? Like the Romans, because we know you ain't the real one. We seen the real one 200 years ago. This is
Yeah.
this is strange.
Secret knowledge. We know there was a first coming, so you have to be the wrong one. Let's nail you to a cross.
I think the ultimate question is, who wrote the Bible? Like, who published the first Bible?
That was the King James version, right? That was
Gutenberg.
the first
No.
Bible.
I'm not saying the version. I'm saying who wrote the original Bible and translated the words.
Well, the original came out of that compromise.
I
That was
understand
what
that. I'm asking you is who translated it to English and put it into a book. That's what I'm asking. I'll look that up.
The first printed one was the Gutenberg Bible. Was that translated or still in Latin? I think the Gutenberg.
No, that was
translated.
that was translated. That was the Gutenberg
Right.
was translated because he's the one that created. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scholar William Tyndale. Work of scholar William Tyndale, who from 1525 to 1535 translated the New Testament and part of the Old Testament that became the model for a series of his subsequent English translations.
So even that's an interpretation, because people still
Yeah,
to
I
this
don't know,
day,
man.
in
Where is
translation,
the original?
find-
Okay, do they have the original Bible? Is that still exist?
Scrolls.
No,
Well,
man.
we don't even know. We don't even know if there is an original one, because originally they were just.
Okay, the
not
one
everybody
that
can
he
read and write.
translated in 1525. Do we still have that?
I'm sure the Vatican has that, guaranteed.
The original jam, dusty papyrus, written with bird blood, just original.
That's
And
not
could you-
necessarily the one he translated doesn't have to be the original one. It's
Well,
just
I'm
a
saying
Latin
the original
copy.
one that the English one is based off of. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so
Probably.
apparently the scrolls are in the Israel Museum in Jerusalem.
Can you go see them?
I don't know.
They're not at the
Facsimile.
Vatican?
A facsimile of the copies.
I'm looking at NBC.
Yeah,
right
it
now.
makes
There's
me
an
wonder if
article
those
on it.
are those the original or are those like a carbon copy of it? Where's the originals?
I'm willing to bet and put money at that the original are somewhere in a vault in the basement of the Vatican.
We're
I don't
We're,
think
we're
they
talking
come
about
see
the
it.
Dead Sea
or-
Scrolls, right?
No, the Bible itself.
Right, but the Bible itself.
So
The first written version.
The Old Testament. No.
Why?
Oh, the Old Testament is apparently in Russia, right?
It's in Russian.
No,
Yeah.
no, should have been in. It should have been in.
Wasn't it
Hebrew.
Greek? Wasn't it Greek?
It was either Greek or Hebrew. I thought it was Hebrew.
I thought it was Greek. Okay. Okay, I don't know anymore. I'm just saying I like to see the original one. Dusty as shit. Just blow off the dust. All right, let's go word by word. Let's see what we get
Oh,
out of this.
we have eco God, so it would have been written on paper that now is a long time disintegrated.
Come on, you don't think they preserved that?
Not back then.
How? How would they preserve it? It's not like they said, "Hey, let's put it in some resin so we don't have to worry about it."
The oldest Hebrew
Well,
entire Old Testament
Egypt.
was found in Egypt. Found in Egypt?
Egypt. Yeah.
Yeah, because those are the Dead Sea Scrolls. All everything was the. That's what it was called.
They're all papyrus,
Now in
right?
Russia.
It was in Russian.
Early Hebrew manuscripts did
Not
not
in
have
Russian.
vowel
It's
point
in
things,
Russia.
chapters,
in
or
Russia.
verses. So they just made a story out of what the findings?
Yep. So we don't even know if what we all believe in is even an actual true story. It could possibly be written in Aramaic also, because everyone spoke Aramaic back then. It was either Aramaic, Greek, or Hebrew.
What did
Those were the
Jesus speak?
languages.
What did Jesus speak? What was his native tongue?
Well, he was born a Jew.
That doesn't mean shit.
If he was a Jew, he spoke Hebrew.
I don't think that's accurate.
I would assume
In a
so.
Roman occupied territory. I was spoken Latin.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What he was spoken Latin?
That's possible too. What did Jesus speak?
Aramaic.
Aramaic. Okay.
Yeah, Aramaic. So why wouldn't the original Bible be in Aramaic?
Oh, why? Why would he? Like, he's the son of God. Would he be limited to one language?
No, I think it would be. I mean, my man could build a table, but we can't find one. I just think there's a hole in that carpenter shit. I want to see what the original word was that you're translating to carpentry.
Well, that's what I was getting at. I mean, it's a translation of a translation
I
of a
believe
translation.
that all of the story is real. I believe that Jesus and God is real. What I don't believe in is a lot of the filler. You know, like when you watch a movie and it's 3 hours long, but the premise is he died and he stole a candy bar. Okay, you could have told me that in 20 minutes, but you had to drag this shit out. I feel like the Bible could be 5 pages. Here's the shit. Here's the rules. This is the story. You take it. It's a brochure. That's it. It's not even a
But
book. It's
A
you
pamphlet.
you
It's a
unfold it.
pamphlet.
You unfold it. This is it. Okay? All right? Fold it back up, hand it off to somebody. That's it. Laminate it so it doesn't get old. That's the Bible. That's it. We don't need to fill this shit with Joseph's idea, Peter, the Psalms that somebody was just like, let's make this shit a quote. Like, just give it to me raw. Jesus was here. I brought him here to prove that I am real. Did not work. He died. I'm still here. You're made. Make a choice. I'm the right one. End of story. That's it. You
Done.
can't misinterpret shit. That's it.
No, but-
No, like,
No,
They
but
took that out.
storytelling has always been a thing to pass on information in the form of a story.
or shit.
And most people, that's always been a thing. Even tribal, it's always been a thing. People who can't
What,
write,
captivating?
Yeah. Maybe there
You-
was
you-
a
you
couple of
transfer to the
pages,
next
Jake,
generation
where
by
Je-
telling a
where
story.
Jesus is just laying in bed, watching a fan for 20 days, and they took it out.
All right, let me use your argument as story, Matthew. Watch this. So one day I woke up. Now I'm not going to put any kind of, because you can't read the contextual way they're saying it's just text. So watch this. Ready? One day I woke up. I found money. Money made me rich. I bought stuff. Okay.
Done.
One day I woke up. I saw all this money, but all these things made me rich. Okay, so now what's the point? You're waiting on the rest of it. The other one, you're not waiting. Okay,
It's
got it.
captivating.
That's so why
That's-
that's what I'm saying. Just don't do unless someone is still alive today when Jesus was around. I want to hear that story. Like, I want the uncut version, just directors.
still-
I don't care if
we
it's 6
still-
hours. Like
we still try to teach,
Apocalypse Now.
and we still try to teach. What do you do with your kids before bedtime? You read them a story. We still do the same thing.
no, now you
Through
put a movie.
stories and try to teach them something. Don't go out in the woods because there's a big bad wolf. You can just go. Don't go out in the woods because you're gonna break your neck, get lost, or
That's all.
no. But that's a cautionary tale. The Bible is a beautiful romance novel. It's a cautionary tale. It's
Okay.
trying to tell you.
Is there
How
not
is
to
it
do this,
romance?
do this.
It's not romance. It's not romance. We don't know anything about his sex
A
life.
novel.
I think the
novel,
Bible's more
whatever you
drama
wanna-
than it is anything.
Yeah, or drama.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Drama with some
What if
thriller in it,
in-
some suspense.
That's it.
In between
It's-
9
It's a
and
good story.
when he
Still a story.
resurfaced again. 9 and when did he resurface again?
Early 30s. Early
Early
30s.
30s?
Disappeared at 9.
Maybe he wasn't really the example he was supposed to be.
Maybe he
And
was
that's how it
kidnapped.
changed. By who?
Someone that does child trafficking.
Oh yeah,
I mean, there's so many questions.
the prequel of Sound of Freedom.
Ah,
What we really
man,
want.
I tell you. See, now that's captivating. You just. So
Have
if
you
you
been
wanted to
sweet
right
at work
now
now?
make a new Bible, who says you can't?
As long as you have the people to believe it, yes, you
You
can.
would never get it out. You would never get it out.
Why
Really?
not?
Why not? The Mormons did it.
Sect.
Yeah, but that's an alteration. That's a version of. That's not really new.
Right.
New.
Well, I'm saying if I take that and I just kind of slim it down to 6 pages.
Yep.
Yeah.
The abridged version. The abridged version of the Bible.
You know, like when you read the back of the
Listen,
book, it kind of gives you the whole story, or is it the first page? The whole story to run down is what it is. You want to buy the book? That's basically what my Bible is. You just open it up, it's 85 cents because I wrote it on a business card, right? Like, all right,
A4.
super
A
fine
folded
print.
A4.
Yeah,
A folded A4.
they're just a regular 8.5 by 11, just unlined construction paper. It's printed up
Well,
nice.
One side
color
is
is the
do's,
paper?
one side is don'ts, and you're done. I
You
mean,
know how many people would read that Bible? I bet you more people would read that than the actual Bible. Because everybody's
100%.
quick. It's basically the Bible and a YouTube short. Just
It's a TikTok.
you
It's
got
the
35
TikTok of the
seconds to read it.
Bible.
Got it. That's a challenge. Read the J. Hayes
Yeah,
Bible.
and
Under
clickbait
it.
it. Clickbait it, and one day maybe he will return. ... Set it up for a sequel. That's how you do it.
Okay.
The
And then wait for a second short.
billionaire.
Just come out with pages as shorts. Nice. I like it. You're onto something. Part 1,
Visual
part
recipe.
2.
It's a visual representation of the Bible.
See,
I
but
think that's
what-
the argument of the 10 Commandments. is
No.
These are the rules. This is what you got. Do with it what you
Yeah.
will.
Yep.
Love thy
Would
neighbor.
you
You
get
haven't seen my
monetized?
neighbor, okay? You ain't loving my neighbor. I don't give a shit who's sitting in this house. You don't like my neighbor. Trust me. A fucking weirdo. Love thy neighbor. Is there a secondary part of that? You want to add? Because what if my neighbor is a murderer? I should love him? Do you love him? I think that's the better question.
Love him from a distance. Like,
Yeah, stay away from him because you got kids. Don't.
maybe change it. Try to update it a little. Try not to kill your neighbor.
Yeah. Stay away from thy neighbor. Like that's much better, easier.
leave thy
Well, didn't
neighbor
George
alone.
Carlin condense them?
George Carlin, I would highly not consider a believer in Jesus.
No, but he condensed all the 10 commandments into like one. Made it simple.
Yeah, it's easy. Don't be a shitty person. That brings it
That's
all
it.
together
That's
into one.
That's it. It's right though.
What was the thing with
If you're not a shitty
the
person,
number
you're
of the beast? The number of the beast being also a misinterpretation. It's not 666. It's 999 or something.
He's a sixth man made. Sixth. Oh, 6 letters in his name.
Yeah, but
And then
the translation from the Hebrew or whatever in there was a thing that they thought it was translated wrong. It's not 666. It's 999 or something like that.
they just flipped
So the number isn't.
flip the numbers upside down.
They were looking at the paper
It's like
upside down.
it's like a lowercase L or a capital I. Shit. We don't know what to do here.
Damn
Right.
it!
We already wrote it. Just run with it.
But we've already printed all those books.
Just keep
Yeah,
it.
we're
Just
gonna
keep it as an L.
leave it alone.
Ed, that's fine.
Leave it alone.
We don't even know at this point. This is like the question is when it was all said and done, that all those 12 people that sat around in this circle of knights actually read the other people's shit, or they were just like, if that's what you got, let's run with that. Looks good. Print it, sell it.
Fact checking 0.
And Bibles are supposed to be free, by the way. I'm just saying you shouldn't be able to make a profit.
Are they?
Swear to God. It's supposed to be free. That's why they're in
All
hotels.
right.
Mo- In most motels, they're free. I gathered. No,
Yeah, you should be able to take it.
Yeah, but you don't really.
It's free. Shouldn't cost anything. Not somebody that
That was a
goes
good
to televangelist though. You're not supposed to make money off of the word of God. That kind
so
of
the whole
point.
church.
that fucks up that whole situation.
Yeah,
That's
that's
all.
the whole church.
That's all
They
bad.
make money off of God, right?
Yeah, but the loophole. There's always a loophole
You make
because it's
you,
now
you made the
translated.
loophole.
It's not the original word anymore. You're now pasting it together. So
Yeah,
it's
but it
not
says in the
true
Bible not to
word.
take away or giveth to the words inside of this book. It's in the Revelations.
Yeah,
That's
so
exactly what you're
everything
doing.
that
When you
comes
cut-
after that is
When you
invalid.
cut a piece out of this and you read just one scripture, you are taken away from that book. You're not what happened before that, what happened after. You just taking what you want and using that. You can't do that, man. That's like someone getting pulled over. And then you see the cop pull him over and you see the cop beating him. What happened that led up to that? You can't just show me just the end of the story, man.
You need the
But
context.
Yeah, you need to give me more than just that.
But the Bible has already been revised, right?
A few times.
I'm gonna make a new Bible. I'm not gonna call it a Bible though. I'll call it a Jabble. Jay's instructions before leaving Earth. Look, don't be a fuck up. That's it.
Yeah.
Love
Don't
yourself.
be a cockwaffle.
Don't be a cockwaffle.
It's going to be the size of a business
Googling
card.
that. What's a cockwaffle?
And then 200 years in the future, nah, that's a wrong translation. It
Yeah,
can't
that's
be
not right.
cockwaffle.
He meant droopy waffle, not cockwaffle. It doesn't translate well.
Do not hippo. Do not hippo. What the hell is this guy talking about? I mean,
That can't be the right word. Like, there's no way that hippo. Hippo?
yeah.
What we're doing is we're going to all the zoos, killing all the hippos.
What they're doing with the hippos. That's so bad. Not the
So in
most
Jay's book,
accessible
we don't
animal.
have to do anything with the hippos. Got it.
No hippos.
The hippo must be a sacred animal. Sacred animal. We can't do anything. We must worship the hippos.
I think the argument could be said as if no one was to give the money to the church, how would the church exist?
right?
Right.
It would.
Kind of have to give
But
money.
the church was supposed to be non-profit when they originally started, weren't they?
They
supposed
still
to be
are
non-profit?
nonprofit, but the argument could be said is that if no one gives, or even televangelists, if no one gave them money, how do they do what they do? How do they make a living?
Right.
They have to make money somewhere.
But they should have the bare minimum then.
But then who gives
Yeah.
them the bare minimum? Every person
Well,
gives
food
a dollar. Okay, that's the bare minimum. You set the
Food on the table. Food on the table.
Who gives
the
them that
basic
food?
clothes and the basics. But it doesn't have to be a Rolex. It doesn't have to be a Rolls Royce, and it doesn't have to
Right.
be a jet and a helicopter
That's who?
and a
So
yacht.
that's the guy that can't
and-
afford that?
Why does okay? So let's think of it differently. Why does the guy who preaches the word of God have to drive around in
Because he has to
an
exude
expensive
excellence.
vehicle?
Because he has to exude excellence. If you look at a guy that comes rolling up in a Rolls Royce or a Lamborghini Urus, right, you automatically think, wow, he's prestigious. If you got a
but
guy
Jesus
that is
is
dressed
poor.
like a vagrant and shows up in a shopping cart, you're less likely to listen to that guy that
True.
rolls
That's what
in.
Jesus
That
just
only
look
has
like.
the cloth and his homemade table and chair. And people
That's what I'm
listen to
saying.
him.
Well, we saw this. Jesus was pushed away by the church. They didn't let him in. But that's not the argument. The argument is that if you look nice, wow. Obviously, Jesus
So
has
for-
been very fruitful to this guy.
So for his second coming, Jesus should have a Learjet, a Rolls Royce,
I don't know.
He's Jeff
an
Bezos.
Armani suit with an expensive watch. Don't think about our luggage.
Oh, no.
Yeah, okay.
Jesus
is an
coming down
influencer.
looking like a young Steve
Oh.
Jobs or a Patrick Swayze, decked out.
or
Yeah,
or
that's
worse, an influencer.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
He's just on Instagram.
Nice.
Uh,
Well, good try.
Is he? Wait. Is he? Is it going to be the same scenario that he's born, or does he come full grown?
He comes as an adult,
Oh, okay.
like 45-ish, 40.
Ah, he's aged very well then.
yeah.
He doesn't age at all. That's the thing. It's
Oh.
just-
Oh, nice.
well, I think that's the better question is when he came back. So when he was
How old was he?
crucified, he came back 3 days later, yeah? Easter and shit. So when he came back, did he age at all? Or did he have the hole in his side for where they stuck him with the spear? Or was he just like he was never
Healed
up?
up.
He will still have the scars, right? No,
I don't know. You ain't gonna have no scar in 3 days. You still gonna have a hole in you.
Maybe he
Yeah,
was
but
wearing
he's
a bandage.
so it would have healed, right?
That's some quick healing.
I
So-
don't get that.
He healed lepers by touching them.
That's
Leopards?
true. That's true.
Lepers.
Oh, I thought
Leprosy.
you said leopards like the cats.
No.
I don't remember Jesus
Leopard.
pet cougars. What
He was probably riding them.
what part of the Bible were you reading? The zoo version? Walking around petting goats and shit, making them sound like lambs? Oh, okay. I don't know what
So
part.
he's
I like
Dr.
that Bible.
Doolittle. He could
Okay.
talk to them.
I like it. Mixing Jesus. So Dr. Doolittle. Jesus.
No.
Doolittle. Doolittle. I like it.
Just hope it weren't tigers, because then maybe Jesus is in jail.
And now he ain't got no hand. He's petting the wrong type of cats.
Little mullet.
You think Jesus had a mullet? I think he had a braid. It's like a long, luscious braid that looked like silk with linen in it. Just stylish, but yet conservative.
Probably had short hair and a beard, so.
Who cut his hair? Where's the clippings?
It didn't grow.
What if he was bald? What if he was bald?
Oh shit! Now you really
Would you
put
be
that
able
on it.
cut Jesus's?
What?
Yeah, you can stick him with a spear, and you can drive nails through his palm, so he's vulnerable. Yeah, okay.
Well, see, that's the thing that always bothered me. It's like you can go ahead and
They
you
didn't
can
stick
cure
it to his
people of your
hands, though.
diseases or anything.
They didn't stick it to his hands.
No, it's the wrist. Normally, it's crucifying, and even they
don't
weren't suspended by the nails because they were tied down.
They were
did the
tied down
nails
because
to
you would
the wrist,
slip right off.
that would
Mm.
most of the time with
Most
rope.
stitches are through the hand, right? Not
Who
through
made the
wrist.
rose that went on his head?
The
The
thorn,
rose
the
of the,
thorn
of the thorns? Who
crown.
made that?
That was a joke, not a joke, but that was to mock him, right? The queen,
Yeah.
the king of, and here's your crown.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
Rose-
who
rose
made it?
thorns.
Like, I want to know the person that made it. Did Jesus was like, I'm condemning you, putting this spike.
Oh, he went straight to hell. Guaranteed. He went straight to hell.
Give you forgiveness. You know how bad that shit would hurt? Sticking a thorn. Oh,
Ah,
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
that would hurt. And then they gave him vinegar instead of water to drink.
If it's apple cider vinegar, I wouldn't mind that.
I don't know if they had apple cider vinegar.
I don't
back
think
then.
so either. I didn't even. Well, apparently they had apples.
Well, they called
Yeah,
most
fruits.
fruits back then apples, right? Wasn't that
I
what
think
it is?
fruit was just a general term. You know, like it could be anything.
Yeah.
It could be a lemon, a pear. I wonder what kind of fruit she ate. Like what was it? Was
Grapes.
it a papaya? What I think that is pivotal for people that eat fruits and vegetables is what is the fruit that was on the tree? That is the fruit we shall all avoid.
Peaches.
Peaches. Oh
No,
shit.
no, I like peaches. Ah.
Oh, yeah.
Man, what if it was
Peach
something
crowd.
small, like a cherry tree, little tiny
Grape.
or like a grapevine or something. Maybe no, it was a
Grapevine.
tree. What is the smallest fruit that could grow on a tree?
The smallest?
A cherry, no? A date.
No, dates are bigger.
No, dates are like this big on a palm tree.
Are they?
Yeah, dates on a pygmy palm are tiny, like the size of a pea. Smallest fruit's gotta be a cherry. What if it was a banana? Uh-oh.
Oh, you're
Oh,
good.
likely.
You've been
Wait, which
avoiding it.
version of the banana?
And she probably didn't eat it. Oh God, I'm going to hell. She probably didn't eat it like
I
all
know.
nice.
I know.
I'm gonna stop.
Olives.
I'm stopping.
Olives.
And on that note, see you all next week.
That's it for me. I'm done. I'm done fucking with Eve. Well, she was a whore anyway. So fuck Eve. She did Jesus wrong. And God. Fuck Eve. Stupid bitch.
Eve?
Dumb apple. Yeah. She ate the fruit.
She started all of
Because
it.
she was
fucking
deceived.
whore. Look at what you started. Vegans and shit.
So hurtful.
No, it's all you.
Well, and to be fair, Adam he hasn't had the best of luck with women, right?
Adam was pussy whipped. You ate the
Well,
apple. Let me get some.
There was a woman before Eve. I mean,
Lily.
Lilith.
No. Oh, what? No. You can't. No. Where's that depicted in the Bible?
Well, see, that's the thing, though.
That's not in there. Lilith is some shit that somebody made up afterwards. Isn't that Satan's son? Satan's daughter? And his wife? It's like she got multiple purposes. I played the shit out of Diablo 4. Lilith
what
is a dirty cunt too. That's
Lilith is, but Lilith is the mother of demons, right?
no, man. Yeah, because she's got Satan's babies.
And that's why they're demons.
But it's also his daughter.
Daughter.
You know, back then, everything was very
Lilith was from
incestuous.
God,
No,
but
Lilith
she
is,
wouldn't obey Adam. She wouldn't obey Adam, and that's why she got sidelined, and he made Eve out of his rib.
Right. That's the story I know.
Yeah. And then she fell. Then she fell in the cohorts with the devil and stuff, and they started pumping out demons.
Right. Start pumping out the. You make her sound
he's
like a
named
factory.
the daughter of evil. So it would be the daughter of Satan. Because evil is Satan. The daughter of evil. I mean, well, I don't know how else you want to explain that. If the ultimate evil is Lucifer, Saint Lucifer, and he is the root of all evil, and she is the daughter of evil, I don't know how else you want to interpret that. It's pretty fucking open there. No?
Wait.
No,
I guess.
Is it evil as an entity or the thought
Lilith
of
is an
evil?
extremely powerful fallen angel and the first fallen angel after Lucifer.
So who was the snake again?
The snake was
Devil.
Yeah, this is where the story's
That
going
was Lucifer.
to stop. Because
Yeah.
if Lucifer didn't exist yet, how did the devil exist?
Yeah.
Well,
And
Lucifer
what
did
if-
exist
if
because-
humanity.
So, but angels are depicted from people, right?
Mhm.
Correct?
Yeah.
God didn't
Yes.
create the angels, he created Adam and Eve. Nothing else created yet. So, in the
Right,
meantime,
didn't he
while
create
Adam and Eve is
angels
there,
first?
he's creating people and they're dying.
No,
He
the
created
angels were created first.
right?
Yes.
Angels were
And he
created
didn't give
first.
them.
Free will.
He gave them he gave us free will, not the angels. The angels
That's
had to
why they
obey
envy
everything
it.
that he said.
That's why they're envious of humans.
Right.
You sure that God created angels before Adam and Eve?
Yeah.
I'm almost
really.
positive. It's either that or the priest lied to me.
Bad priest.
Well, you create.
Nope. 19th and 19th paramillennial years ago, before there was the universe, there was a single molecule. Before there was Adam, and then God became lonely. God created the angels to keep him company.
Right. Before there was Adam. So he had the angels first.
Before Adam was there, God created the angels to keep in company.
Yeah.
But they're not. It's not mentioned until later in the Bible. Nehemiah 9:6. It's not mentioned in Genesis.
Right. But because afterwards, instead of God showing up, he didn't show up anymore after that. He just sent the angels and said, hey, be my word and tell them what I want you to do.
Listen, the Bible does not specifically mention angels during the creation account of Genesis 1 through 2. This has led to many questions regarding the origin of angels. When did God create angels? See, and then
But
in
they must have-
Hebrews 1:14 and Matthew 18:10, which is written by man, says that they were created. But if Genesis 1 and 2, which was what? Moses, right? Moses did the Old Testament. If he did not mention the angels, someone else did.
But there had to have been angels before that because you had the devil. And what
And that doesn't
what
make
is the
sense
devil?
then.
It's Lucifer. He was an angel and he was a
But then the
false
story
prophet.
doesn't make sense then. The story doesn't make sense. If you're saying, right, that the snake was Satan, was devil, okay? Which we could argue and say is Saint Lucifer, right? The fallen angel, first fallen angel.
Yeah. The light bringer.
Okay, but there's no mention of that in Genesis. There's none. If Genesis is the creation of the world and you don't mention angels, anything that comes afterwards is interpreted by man.
Wait, the story is the creation of Earth, not the universe.
No, it's heavens, earth, and underworld. That is the earth. That is the world as we know it. There's no mention of angels in Genesis. None.
Yeah, the underworld already existed. It was
Right.
created at the same time as heaven
Right.
and or as earth. Because where did the Lucifer fall to?
They
The
fell by
underworld.
tree, right? By the tree of life. That's where all angels, fallen angels go. I don't know. It just raises an eyebrow. I'm just saying that's weird. If you're talking about the creation of something, you're going to talk about everything you created. You're not going to tell somebody and then 9 chapters later, you're like, oh, by the way, he made some other shit that we failed to mention in the beginning.
These are his soldiers.
Well, did you know that America, we're number 2 or we're number 1 in the place that believes that angels are real. And then you have Michael, right? Michael and who are the archangels? Gabriel.
Michael and Gabriel.
The army of angels, and then the wait, which
Gabriel is also the voice of God. He was the one that always showed up to everybody and said, God told me this and to tell you this.
Gabriel
He
was
always
but one of them was very vigilant. Was it Michael? Not bad, but
Michael was the one with the sword. No, he was the one with the sword. He was basically like he was the one that brought the death upon you because
you ever seen a movie
like
Legion?
he was like
Yo,
yes.
when those angels are
Yo, I-
fighting, yo,
Yeah.
That shit,
Yeah.
I am not into superheroes, but that
That was good.
got
I
real
liked it.
really quick, man. So
everyone
he
hated that
fought
movie.
Gabriel at the end, right? Michael
Yes.
came down and broke his wings off.
Right. Well,
Right.
that's just a story, but that's not real.
Right, but I'm saying in that movie, who comes down and breaks the wings off? Is it Michael or Gabriel?
Gabriel. No, Gabriel came down. Yeah, I think it was
No.
Gabriel that came down.
Nobody-
Michael's the
You
vengeful
guys
one.
haven't seen the movie
he's-
Legion?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember it.
Michael's the one with he's always got a flaming sword. He's the one that's always
Yeah, he's
like,
the
you know,
one who
ready for
slayed the
war.
dragon or the dragon or the.
That was- The dragon was Saint George. Wasn't that Saint George with that slayed the dragon? Or the serpent, not the dragon.
There's cigarettes called Saint Michel, and the picture is an angel stabbing a dragon or something. So
Yeah, I think that's Saint George. I believe so.
Yeah, see, and then there's
Yeah,
some
Saint George.
mention of angels after Genesis, like Job, Isaiah. It's so weird, but then there's no mention of it in Genesis. And I feel
Well, maybe
like that's
because they
something
didn't
that
know about
somebody
them.
created. I feel like, honestly, Genesis and Revelations is all you need to know in the Bible. The beginning and the end. That's it. Anything else in between there is some other shit.
Wait. Hold on. If you don't need to know everything in between, then why do you need to read what's in between the other scrolls between the
Just
the
to know
beginning and the
what's
end of-
not in there. Just the idea of not knowing. I just want to see what it says. If you're trying to hide it, there's some shit in there that
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to read it. It's not that I'm going to believe it. I believe the beginning and the end. That's it. Everything else in between there, I don't know. I find it weird that angels exist everywhere else but in Genesis, and that's the creation of it. If you create
wait,
a
where did you
car,
find it?
you build a house, you have to have a foundation first. You're going to mention every part of building a house. You're not going to leave out that there's no foundation. We just built it on soft ground.
Agreed.
Where did you find it, Spade? Because I find artwork.
Every
and,
depiction,
statues of
every
Saint
depiction of Saint
Michael.
George that shows the what?
I find artwork and statues of Saint Michael killing a dragon.
Okay.
What was saying? One of them is the army of God. Which one is that? Is that Gabriel?
That's Michael. Michael is think of him as the general of God's army.
There's three though, right? There's Michael, Gabriel, and there's a
The
third.
archangels. Either it's Raphael or Ezekiel, one or the other.
Yeah,
I don't
one
remember
is the
exactly.
voice of God. One is the thoughts of God. The other one is
The other one's the hand, like the hand of God, because that's what Michael was. He was the one that would spite you. He was the one that killed you.
Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. Right, are the only angels named in
Raphael.
the sacred scripture, and all three have important roles in the history of salvation. So wait, were those? Wait. Okay, were they people?
Mm-mm.
They're not.
No.
They were just created as angels, so they
Yeah.
don't look like human beings.
Correct.
They do, but they
Well, no,
can't
They have superpowers.
procreate. They don't procreate because they have no genitals or something.
Oh shit! So they look like big
They're
ass
asexual.
Barbies.
They can't procreate.
So we got some Babs up there, big ass Barbies.
Yeah, but-
Barbie.
Yeah.
That's another gift he gave to humans: procreation. Then again, angels are eternal, so humans are not.
Oh, there's four. The foremost
one is
depicted
killed?
in our Gabriel, the messenger of God, who brought the announcement of Christ's birth to the Virgin Mary. Michael, the dispenser
Right.
of justice. Raphael, the healer and protector of the trap. And Uriel, the angel of
Oh,
prophecy
Uriel.
and wisdom.
Yeah, but those are like the B team, the other two. Or Maria.
So they're like Iceman in Avengers or some shit. Like you don't really have a major role.
Yeah.
You a
just
shout
side
out.
character.
I'll give you a shout out, but that's like you're here, but that's just because we needed a woman. Like that's all. We had to be
That's it.
diverse.
That's exactly it.
We needed a black
And-
angel, so we just made you.
I'm the
Whatever.
voice of God. I command the armies. I can make ice.
Would it be? See, that would be a superhero movie I would watch. But why haven't they made that? Like, made that into a fun? It's probably pushing too many
Because-
boundaries.
Yes, because people would be like, "Why are you making fun of religion that way?"
And and the Oscar for the best supporting angel goes to. Ta-da!
Yeah, that's no good. That's no good. No, Lucifer was not.
No, he was just a regular angel. There's only four archangels.
No,
The ones that Chase said.
there's more. There's seven in tradition: Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, Camael, Jophiel, and Zedekiel.
Ezekiel.
If you look up seven archangels, there's seven that
Yeah.
are mentioned. The
Wait,
three
Lucifer
are the,
wasn't one of them.
what's that?
Lucifer wasn't one of them.
No, not
He was not an archangel.
No.
He was a regular angel. He was the light bringer. That's it.
Yeah, the
Weird name
archangels,
for
the
somebody
true
evil.
archangels, like the decisions of God, are Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. The other ones were just like,
Yeah.
Hang around.
yeah, just to keep Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael company and shit.
Company.
Yeah, just I need somebody to talk to when God's busy creating trees. I don't know.
But is that
Apple trees, to
ever
be exact.
put in writing what he exactly did to be cast out? Like every
He
single
tried to
thing
take
that he
over
did,
heaven.
or-
He
Yeah,
tried
yeah.
to take over heaven.
He wanted to take over.
He wanted the number one spot.
And Lilith,
Oh.
if you read on Lilith, but see, that's not in the Bible. But if you read on
No.
Lilith, the depiction is that in the 70s Dead Scrolls? Like, is this in it? Because Lilith is mentioned. Like, where do you come up? Did someone just make this up? Because if you even look up, check this out. I remember when I started playing Diablo 4. If you look up where Lilith started, it was way after the Bible. Like, and some Jewish guy just made her up. It's a
She's in the
wacky
Dead-
story.
She's in the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah, it's really weird how she just shows up and people would pray to her because not to like haunt your home type of shit. And then the story of her is that she hated people that God created, so that's why she was fallen. But it's all people just came up with it and we're just going with it.
Apparently, she's in the book of Isaiah.
Lilith. I couldn't find any mention of her in the Bible. Yeah, dweller. Not as an angel or a fallen angel.
Mhm.
As a dweller in waste places.
So she was like the whore.
She's like a vagrant, like a bum.
Well, that's kind of what they did with the girlfriend of Jesus. They made her out to be a whore as well, right?
That's Mary.
Right.
Yeah, that's Mary
Mary Magdalene. Magdalene.
Magdalene, yeah.
So
But the reason
I
why
still
hold on, the
couldn't
reason why they
fathom.
made her a whore was because they weren't married. Because apparently there was sexual relations between Jesus and
Yeah,
Mary
but
Magdalene.
married then versus married now are two different things.
uh,
Married then was you and me together for life.
Right.
Married now is you take a vow to God. There, before God existed, people were married.
Right.
people stayed married for longer.
Right, like
Now,
literally till death do us part. You don't need to say it to do it.
until something better comes along.
Yeah, if you look at the story of Lilith, it's wacky. It's somebody just
What?
took a name out of the Bible and just ran with it and just
That's it.
I didn't
But-
know this.
It is
what? We didn't know what.
Eve.
The sin that originally corrupted Lucifer was self-generated pride. That was the
One of your
catalyst
deadly
of-
sins. That's your seven
Yeah.
deadly sins that are
Yeah.
based off of angels. All of them.
Yeah, didn't know that.
Your gluttony is what's the fat angel?
Gluttony is about
Saint
that,
Stan? I think it's Saint Stan or something.
Saint Stan. Oh,
Staniel.
Saint Stanislav.
Yeah, it's based off the
Or is
angel.
Is it really? I didn't know.
Humility, kindness, temperance, charity, chastity, diligence, and patience. Huh. That's Catholicism. Although all of these things are sinful, nowhere in the Bible are they called deadly sins.
Yeah, we gave it adjectives so it could sound
We?
scary.
We?
Scarier.
We as humans, not I mean, we didn't write it obviously, but
We?
we as humans wrote it to scare the other person, scare them into submission.
That's why I've
Didn't
said
really
you
work.
need a
There's a lot of
whip or a cane.
maybe add another one. Very deadly sins.
That's the part two. That's the part two. It's a sequel.
Just add more.
I can think of a few.
Mark, I drove all the way to all the way to Orlando. It's kind of a long ass drive. So I'll see you guys in vocals.
Hmm.
Yeah. Bree's doing
How
her
long is that?
bike fitting tomorrow. Hour and a half.
Really?
Oof.
What'd you say?
And then the bike fitting
Yeah, bike,
itself is
Yep. Bike sizing. And then there's a bike place next door. We got the refund for the other bike, so I think she's gonna get one of these bikes and hate it. Hated it. But whatever.
she's used to the mountain bike.
Yep. Did you guys have fun?
Yes,
Always.
always.
We finally did an episode where Spade is agreeable.
It's probably best to remove this.
I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. I would disagree with that.